Tyler Ramos.
Here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB. Shout out to my boy DZ. And guys, we got an awesome show for you tonight. Not only are we going to be taking a look at Bitcoin and going over those key levels that we need to be watching. Let me go ahead and drop down the Frankie Candle studio real quick. Get a little less headroom here. But guys, we got an awesome show for you tonight. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. We will be taking a look at the altcoins towards the end of the stream. And as you guys know, we do have a very special guest on tonight. Well, he's a special guest. I don't want to say he's a new guest, but he's definitely a special guest. Gareth the God Soloway is going to be joining us tonight. He is not in the bullpen just yet. So I'm going to do my intro. If he's still not there, we will jump into a little bit of TA, and I will keep my eye out for him to pop in. And as soon as he gets here, we will pull him up. We're going to be talking to him about his outlook on Bitcoin. I have some questions pre-written out for him to go over. I actually have some things I want to ask him. We're going to be talking about, what he thinks about the rest of this bear market, kind of what he thinks it might look like moving forward. We're going to be talking about his thoughts on XRP. Maybe his thoughts on Solana, as well as some questions that we got from the community. Tony D has sent me some questions here, but I have my own. And guys, ask your questions in the Q&A section, and Tony D is going to be funneling through those Q&A questions and giving me the fire ones. So, yeah, guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for spending your precious time here with your boy Frankie Candles and the CandleMafia to do 2 full hours of TA. I see you guys already going nuts in chat. Oh, my God, chat is flying tonight. But, guys, overall, Bitcoin struggling to hold 30K right now. Are we finally going to see a little bit of a break to the downside. Again, as you guys know, my general sentiment recently has been a little long-term bullish, a little bit more sketchy and bearish in the medium to short term because of the way money flow looks at the time, as of right now. Money flow is looking like it might want to push to the downside. Before we get that next leg up, could this loss of 30K be that first step towards losing this range? And I will talk to you guys about why this level at 30K is not just only a psychological level of support that would be really important to hold, but it is also a key level when looking at the volume profile that, if lost, could cause a little bit bigger of a move to the downside, potentially getting us as low as 28.6K. So we're going to be jumping into that, guys. But before we get into it, don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get, you guys get a spin on the Wheel of Pain and Pleasure. The more spins, the more wins. The more wins, the more free crypto, and maybe a Frankie Candles hat, maybe a free premium Discord membership. I don't know what we're giving away yet, but smash that like button. The more spins, the more wins, the more likes, the more spins. You know what to do, Mafia. Creighton C is in here. If he's not in here, he will be soon. Telling you to smash that like button. But before we jump into it, guys, let's go ahead and jump into chat and see who we got in here. Let's see. We got Dixon Applejuice in the house calling for 25K. Let's go. Incognito calling for 12K. Hey, is this going to be a big breakdown or what? We'll have to take a look at the charts here in a second. We got some people calling for 27.4K. That's a little closer to where I would be looking. Jonah Hill. Jonah Plainclothes shouting out Creighton C. We got Jessica, our female CandleMafia representative, in the house. Show Jessica some love in the chat. We got Metabice in the house. What is going on, bro? Shout out to you. Spamming those emojis. Guys, look at all these green names. Look at all these green names. Absolutely insane. Shout out to Mitchell. Yeah, says, all I know is down. That's my gut. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. We got Sustainable Crypto calling for 27,850 on the dot. Yeah, well, let's go. That's pretty close to where I'm looking as well. Crypto Pollo said, Frankie Candles, I ate the blue egg. I'm out of the Matrix. Shout out to Crypto Pollo. This is, we were going back and forth in the comments. Shout out to Crypto Pollo. Welcome in, bro. We got Rob the Crypto Snob, Crypto Anon in the house. We got Crypto Billy, D Petty Crypto, Captain Kirk, Tony D, Chemistry Bro, Rob the Crypto Snob. I think I already said Rob, but shout out Tyler Durden, all the mods, guys. Show the mods some love in the chat. They help us out endlessly with this YouTube channel, and we love them, and I know you guys do as well. But let's see. We got Justin Simmons in the chat. Tony D said, call me. Gareth is having issues logging into the stream. Oh, boy. All right. That is, yeah, that's not good. Give me one sec, guys. Here we go. Live technical difficulties. The vMix call is not working. I don't think so. It shouldn't. Let me look at it real quick. Okay, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna put the waiting room back up real quick. All right, bye. All right, guys. I'm gonna throw that waiting room up, or actually, maybe I could talk through this. It's hard to talk on the phone and talk to the stream and troubleshoot the difficulties. But let's see. Caller on guest. Let me see if I can fix this, guys. I don't know. This has never happened before. Oh yeah, this is yikes. I don't know, guys. This may have to yeah, bear with us, guys. I really don't want to Oh, there he is. Okay, he's in the house. I didn't even do anything. I don't even know what I did, but Garrett's here now. But guys, we said what's up to the chat. There we go. Boom. That is beautiful. But yeah, guys, we said what's up to the chat. We shouted out everybody we needed to shout out. Shout out to Nabil, Bubba Franks. What is going on? 29-2 incoming. Interesting. CJ Baker in the house. Can I win a month of free in the premium Discord for my 33rd birthday? CJ Baker, is your birthday today? We can talk about that a little bit later. But guys, shout out to PS5, the future of gaming. Guys, thank you all for being here. J-Rod in the house saying, Gareth, what's up? And speaking of Gareth, guys, that was a close call. I was like, I don't know how to fix this, but we got him in the bullpen now. So, guys, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and throw on the headphones here. And we're going to go ahead and, oh, God, I got myself echoing. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull up Gareth here, guys. So give Gareth Soloway a warm welcome. And without further ado, what is going on, Gareth? Oh, wait, hang on one second here, guys. My buttons are not working. Gareth, what is going on, man? Thank you so much for coming on. I thought we were going to, I didn't know if we were going to be able to get you on. I didn't know what the problem was, but I'm happy you made it in.
Yeah, no problem. I had to jump on my phone for some reason. It wasn't connecting on the computer, so I apologize for that. But I'm doing well, Frankie. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. We have a lot of really, really good questions. Like I said, I think the last time you were on, we've had a lot of really boring price action, and we finally had some real stuff happen, right? So I wanted to get your thoughts on a few different things. We have some questions from the community, and I know you're on your phone, so it might be hard for you to show charts. But fortunately, a lot of the questions actually are a little bit more focused on just kind of your general thoughts. But yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead. I'm going to jump into kind of the first question, and I guess just we'll start off with just like your general thoughts on the market. Obviously, we have gotten a big move up on Bitcoin. Compared to the boring price action that we've had, for the most of this bear market. What do you think about this Bitcoin pump? Do you think it's sustainable? I think the big question that everyone, or at least that I get asked constantly, is like, do you think this pump will continue to higher prices? Was it a retracement? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I think the key is this 31,000 level. We saw when the banking crisis happened in April, when we saw some banks fail, Bitcoin rallied up into that 31,000 level and then pulled back. And then when we saw the BlackRock news, it rallied up to 31,000 and it's been kind of hammering on that level over and over again. But so far it's been unable to break through. So as a technician, it's kind of like a prove it or you can't believe it type mentality, right? So it has to break above 31,000 and stay above it. Otherwise, for me, I'm skeptical until it does.
Yeah, that's I've been calling that, $31,000 level just like monumental resistance. It was such strong support during the bull market, and now we're just hammering our head on it. And it doesn't, even every time we peek over it, we cannot close those those big candles over that level. So with that being said, I kind of wanted to shift over to XRP. Now, obviously, XRP, big news. We just had that massive pump. Everyone got super excited. Bitcoin got a little bit of a pump off of it, but still couldn't break that range. But XRP with the absolute moonshot. Are you an XRP guy? Do you believe in XRP? Is it just kind of like you look at the charts and that's all you care about? What are your thoughts on the whole XRP thing?
Yeah, so I mean, I think it was overall good news for crypto, right? So I don't think it was as good as people were hoping for. It wasn't like a clean slate, all systems go, but XRP definitely won more than the SEC did. So that was a positive. We saw price rally almost 100% and then kind of pull back to the 70-cent range, give or take a little bit. And I think for me, I'm not a huge XRP guy just because I don't understand it fully, and I'm always kind of on the edge of like, are these financial institutions really going to roll over and say, hey, let's start using XRP instead of what we can do, and therefore giving up a lot of their potential revenue and profits? So I think that's really one of the concerns I have is just that aspect of it. The Fed Now is launching, for those of you guys that have heard about Fed Now, which is instant payments across banks, across individuals. And I think that's a backdoor to the CBDC world. And so, again, you have to think about where these institutions that are making billions of dollars are going to continue to make billions of dollars. And if XRP comes in and takes over a lot of that, can they do it? So it doesn't mean that it's not a good investment. It just has to be the right percentage of your portfolio.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like, I got my bag of XRP, and I always tell people, like, everyone always asks me, do you buy your XRP? Do you buy your XRP? And I definitely have a decent bag of XRP, but it's obviously, the percentage of my portfolio that I've allocated towards XRP is well managed on the risk side, especially when they, before we got this news and it was still kind of iffy in the lawsuit. Obviously you want to manage that risk correctly. And so when it comes to, XRP, altcoins, is it something that you trade? Like, do you trade altcoins? Do you stick more to Bitcoin? And like, what is kind of your split there? Because I know, like, I'm kind of split too. Like, I've gone through phases where I trade more of the altcoins, but now more recently I've kind of stuck more towards Bitcoin, just because most things follow Bitcoin, right? Like, where do you fall on that scale?
So for the most part, my biggest positions are always going to be Ethereum and Bitcoin, just because those are the mega caps of the world of crypto. But there are opportunities in some of the bigger altcoins, like when Matic, Polygon, and Cardano had been hammered after the SEC. What we saw was a move up in Bitcoin dominance to about 52%. And what usually happens, if you look at history with Bitcoin dominance, it usually pops about 5% and then has a retrace of about 3 or 4% before popping again. And so for me, I took that as a signal to say, okay, there's a lot of negativity on these altcoins. Let's play a little bit of a long on altcoins and look for that pullback in dominance. And we actually did get it. We got that with the surprise XRP decision, which helped the altcoins gain back. But those were just quick trades for me. I'm already out of Polygon and out of Cardano on the long side. And now I'm actually looking back at Bitcoin to potentially, at least start to get its dominance back. The big question is dominance going to come in the form of Bitcoin going higher, or is Bitcoin going to pull back, but altcoins will just pull back more, which would still increase dominance?
Yeah, that's a big thing that we've been watching as well. Like, we were looking on that XRP pump, we were like, let's check that dominance, and it was just like a big dump. I know a lot of people are expecting like a crazy alt season to come. When it comes to alt season for me, like I consider real alt, like if it's not a bull market, I'll call it a mini, like maybe you get some mini alt seasons, but real alt season to me has to happen in a bull market. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. And I think what people just have to keep in mind is that, like, to get a real alt season, you need the all clear from the SEC on, no security bullshit or anything like that. And the problem with the XRP decision is it allows for appeals, which is going to continue to kind of keep this pseudo cloud over altcoins for like another year or two. And I mean, that's how long this appeal process could be. And it's going to keep, and I always look at where the big money is, right? So anything that's going to make big money kind of be a little bit more cautious on buying altcoins means that the upside could be a little bit limited, versus if we get this spot ETF, then that big money is going to absolutely head into Bitcoin. So I think, again, it makes it very hard for an alt season to occur like we're used to, which is just crazy moves to the upside, when you still have this regulatory overhang kind of hanging out there.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. And, I guess it was maybe January, February, we saw the alts pop a little bit and everyone's like, oh my God, alt season. And then you get people coming in, the bull run's back on. And I'm like, guys, calm down. Like, we can have fun with the altcoins, but the real alt season's for the bull market. I mean, in my opinion. And turn your mic up there, telling me. All right, let me go ahead and raise that volume. Okay, that should be better. But yeah, so my next question is about Solana. Now, obviously, Solana has had quite the history, right? It had a massive run up, massive blow off top in 2021. And my question is, do you have an opinion on Solana? And, obviously you're a trader, you're a technical analyst, like I am, right? So it's, mostly the charts is what I go off of for the most part. But do you have an opinion on Solana? Because a lot of people are wondering if Solana's dead. Is it going to make a comeback? And me personally, I am DCAing in to Solana. It's not one of my bigger bags, but I personally don't think it's dead. I think they have good tech, good partnerships, and I do think they will get some kind of a run, but I know that's kind of like a hot debate. Where do you fall on Solana?
It's actually one of my favorite altcoins. So again, if you exclude Ethereum's in a class of its own. Bitcoin's obviously not an altcoin, but the second tier for me is Solana. The chart to me is a very, very good chart. It's got this kind of consolidation ever since the low after that FTX freak out where everyone thought it was going to go to zero. It's been consolidating sideways. And if you look at the altcoins versus Solana had to move from about $12 to $13 to about $32. There weren't a lot of altcoins that went to that extent, right? I mean, that's a big time move. And so I actually do like it. I have a pinpoint entry level that I'm watching around $22 to $22.50, which would be kind of a retrace to where it broke out. And then I'll be starting to inch in a little bit myself, right around 22 to 22 and a half.
Yeah, I would agree. It's like, I think a lot of people think that a lot of people think it's dead, and I know the crypto community has a little bit of a disconnect because they call it the VC coin. But all I really see there is a little bit of assurance for the next bull run. Like if I think it's gonna pump, show me the chart. If I think it's gonna pump, that's what I'm gonna exploit that. I'm here for the decentralization, obviously. But if I think an asset's gonna go up, that's I want to exploit that to my fullest ability, obviously. So yeah, you guys heard it here first. I do not think Solana's dead, and neither does Gareth. And
Nope.
it's speaking of Solana, you said it, you do really like it. As we're in this bear market, and for me personally, this is the time to accumulate, right? For me, not financial advice, obviously, guys. But for me, I've been DCAing in for a little while now. And how do you kind of play the markets, like from the bull, like for your long-term holdings? Like, do you DCA in? And if you do, kind of how do you handle that? Like, do you buy every week, or what's your strategy?
Yeah, for me, it's more of a level buying. So when I buy, for instance, I'll say, okay, I'm going to buy, let's say, a 1/6 of what I want to ultimately accumulate, or this percentage, and then every, let's say, 10% down, I'll buy a little bit more, and it keeps my average going down. I'm not a big fan of averaging up. So if you're holding something for 10 years, averaging up's okay, but for the most part, I'm more of a 6-month holder, 3-month holder, maybe a year holder, and so you don't want to hurt your overall average by buying higher and higher and higher, because then eventually you get that dump and you're out of the money. So I do think DCAing is the way to go. It's the only way where you can kind of mitigate the risk that your entry is wrong, right? So most people are like, hey, I believe myself, and I believe in this level, it's going to be a home run. They buy, and then it goes down 20 or 30% on them, and they're like, oh crap, I used up all my money. Well, the way you get around that is by DCAing in. Now it works against you sometimes too, right? So I started DCAing into Bitcoin at around the 17,000 range, and it was a 1/6 position. And I said to myself, okay, well, I think it's going to go to 15. I'll buy a little bit more, then 13, etc. Well, it didn't do that. So I have a small bag at that level, but I wasn't able to accumulate more. Now, as an investor, I've traded Bitcoin 100 times since then. That's fine, but you have to just recognize that you either have to stick by your principles and your discipline, or if you lose the principles and discipline, then everything starts to unwind.
Yeah, as I think that's really, really, really important to realize for a lot of people out there. Like, the importance to sticking to your plan goes beyond once you go, get away from your plan, it builds that habit into you. And then, before you know it, you're doing that on your short-term trades, you're doing it on your scalps, your day trades, and everything else, and it'll eat up your account over time. I love that you just said that.
And I'll just say this is like a good example of this would be like, let's say on a trade you wanted to enter at $20, and this time you said, oh well, you know what, it's at $20.05, so I'll do it. And let's just say it works out. Well, the next time you're going to be like, oh, well, now it's at 2010 and I'm going to enter at 2010. And what happens is once you move that line, it becomes very gray, and you'll move it a little bit more and a little bit more, and it ultimately comes back to bite you. And that's why your discipline and your levels, you really have to stick to them. Even if sometimes you don't get filled, that's just part of the nature of it. But the keeping you disciplined part will keep you in the money more often.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like you said, you do run the risk of not getting filled, right? But I always tell people that happens to me. That happens to me sometimes too. You don't get filled, you watch it go, and there's another trade and another day.
That's right.
And I think that's a hard thing for people to understand, because the pain, like I always tell people, like, I feel that pain. Like when I see that thing go and I'm like, I just didn't get what I wanted, and the ship sails a little bit, I feel the emotion. I feel the FOMO. But I know that just FOMOing in, even if it wound up working out for me, it will hurt me in my career in the long term. I absolutely love that you said that. So moving on, I do want to I want to talk a little bit more about XRP. Now, obviously, I know you're on your phone. You can't really show a chart. Is there anything specific that you're looking on the XRP chart as far as price targets, pullbacks? Because for me, I am looking for. I'm kind of split down the middle. If you look at what XRP has done in the past, we had last time, like a lot of times when it breaks out, it is doing exactly what it has done right now, or what it's doing currently. And I do want to kind of see a revisit to the scene of the crime, or where we broke out from. And I'm a little hesitant if we're even going to get that. And I was curious to have see your take on it, if there's any kind of levels that you're looking at to the upside or the downside.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, XRP when it ran, it went right back to levels that it saw back in early 2022. When it popped up, it failed. It popped up again a month later and failed. And then we didn't see that level until this latest pump, which took us to about 90 cents to 95 cents. So there's no doubt that that's resistance right now. That'll be the level to beat. In terms of other levels, I mean, for a buy, there's a very clear level. So the highest point in basically 2023 is at 58 cents, 59 cents. So again, it may not pull back there, but that would be a key level where if it did pull back, I would start to kind of look and maybe nibble just a little bit, assuming that was not driven on news back to that point. So 58, 59, 60 cents, I think would be the level for me.
I love it. That's similar to the areas that we're looking at, and yeah, I'm hoping for that pullback because I got my bags packed. I'm just looking for a shorter term trade because I missed that first pop. So when it comes to this, when it comes to this bear market, I did a video recently kind of talking about, how I see the rest of the bear market playing. And it has a lot to do with, the 4-year cycles, how we've seen previous bear markets play out. And my general thoughts are, a lot of the pain is over. I would expect, some consolidation, sideways action. But for the most part, at the end of the day, for someone who's dollar cost averaging in, like I said, I've been dollar cost averaging in. I think this is a good time to accumulate. Obviously, we can't predict the future. But do you have any strong opinions? And it's okay if you don't. Do you have any strong opinions on how you see the bear market wrapping up? Do you believe in the 4-year cycle? I think we may have asked you this before, but for anybody who's new, do you kind of watch the cycle? You think it's all, fairy dust? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So I think you have to take the 4-year cycle as something that you take into account when you're analyzing. But at the same time, it's only fair that if you take that data point into your analysis, you also have to take into account the Federal Reserve and what are they doing? What's the difference here? And so the 4-year cycle was occurring during a period from 2009 to basically 2021, where we were always seeing the Fed doing quantitative easing. There was QE1, QE2, QE 2.5, QE this, QE that. And so now we're in a phase where for the first time interest rates have gone up dramatically and the Fed is pulling back. We've seen M2 money supply starting to shrink pretty dramatically, which is the amount of money in the system. And so while I think you have to take into account the 4-year cycle and that it could still replay, you also have to be slightly open to the possibility that the cycle is going to be slightly different this time because it doesn't have the amount of printing that was previous cycles. Now, listen, for all we know, the Fed will go back to printing in 6 months and then it's game on, right around the halving. But as of now, they're not printing, so we have to just be aware of that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of how I handle it. I do think, when you study the 4-year cycles going back in history, they've definitely rhymed timing-wise, but all the cycles have really been different, right? We've had double tops, blow-off tops. The bear markets are slightly different, which makes sense as the market matures, obviously. So I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I definitely look at it, but I definitely am open to because I know some people it's the 4-year cycle, it'll never break. And to me, that's a little bit too close-minded as a trader. The like you said, the world conditions, the Fed, all this stuff changes over time. So yeah, I'm basically in the same boat with that.
One of the things I was just going to mention here, and this is just something I was kind of analyzing today, is that it does appear that there's a inverse relationship now between the bank stocks and Bitcoin. And so what we know is that back when we had the banking crisis in I think it was April, when Bitcoin initially popped to about 31,000. That was when we saw Silicon Valley Bank failing and some of these other banks under a lot of pressure. And it seems like now that the banks are starting, like today we saw a big rally in the bank stocks and Bitcoin was down. And so there's this coordination or inverse relationship between the banks doing better, which builds confidence in the monetary system and having your money in the bank, versus if the banks struggle, people say, oh, the banks aren't trusted here, they could go out of business. Let me move my money into cryptocurrency or into Bitcoin. So just like a little bit of an interesting aspect to kind of think about going forward, where you have to start watching the banks. And if the banks really start to struggle, I do think it becomes a big money flow position to Bitcoin.
I love that. It is very, very, very interesting because it's like we look at the DXY a lot of times, which is obviously inversely correlated for the most part. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I've not looked at that personally, but it makes a lot of sense, right? Like the banks start going down, the bank stocks go down a little bit, and people start to get a little worried. Like, hey, let's go into crypto, which I guess is a really, really, really good sign for crypto.
Yes.
Speaking, and I love that you're, you look at all these different things, right? Because there's so many things that can give us insight into different assets, even if you're not looking at that actual chart. And, one of the things that you've mentioned on this show in the past that really has stuck with me, and I've told people about this so many times, like we had Gareth Soloway on one time and he said this, it was when you were looking at the difference between the dumps we were getting in the market and the severity of the news. And you were talking about how that's like the FTX collapse was less severe than the previous dump that we had. Meanwhile, that news was a bit more bearish than the previous dump. And you were talking about how that was basically a bullish divergence between price action and news. And that was right at the FTX collapse. And it just, I love that you're looking that you look at all these different things that you might not, or you like kind of make these connections outside of just looking at that one chart being Bitcoin to kind of come to these conclusions. And that's technical analysis to me. People just want to know, give me the indicator with the buy signal, the sell signal. And it's like, no, it's much more like what you just explained, where you're looking at inversely correlated stuff and things like this. Now, talking about stocks, I wanted to get your opinion on this. This is like a personal thing because I know you have a really, really big background in stocks. What are your thoughts on Coinbase stock? Because I don't really buy a lot of stocks, but I was thinking, especially with BlackRock looking to work with Coinbase to custody their Bitcoin, I just keep seeing stuff that makes me really bullish on Coinbase stock. Do you have any thoughts on Coin?
Yeah, I mean, it's had a big run recently, which makes it really tough to chase at this point. So I think, just looking at the chart in June, and this is really just, a month and basically a month ago, Coinbase was trading at $47. It's now at $104. So it's well up over 100%. So as a technician or as a trader, you would never want to chase it up here. But on pullbacks, I can understand the concept here where, if a Bitcoin ETF does get approved, and I'm sure it will at some point with the spot, then does it become a more intriguing play? So I do think that on pullbacks, this is something you watch for. I have a couple key trend lines where if we pulled back to, let's say, anywhere between $70 and $80, that would be a very interesting technical support for it. Now, just one thing about that. So to me, that's a more shorter term, maybe 3 month, 6 month, 12-month type trade on Coinbase. The longer term, like if you're asking me 5 to 10 years out, I think the amount of fees that these exchanges can charge on transactions are going to get smoked. Like again, if you look at the progression, when I started, and this is dating myself back, but when I started trading in '99 online, it was like the beginning of online trading. I think I was paying $30 to buy a stock and $30 to sell a stock. Then it went to 15, then it went to 10, then it went to 5. Now you trade stocks for free and there's no cost at all. Right now, you're at that very beginning part of crypto where they can charge you an arm and a leg in many situations, and they really do. Those margins will eventually erode over 10 years or so. So I think, again, just be aware of that, is that as competition comes up, they'll have to lower that commission essentially, and it may not be such a long-term great investment. But shorter term, I would still be a buyer, 70 to $80 in the near term.
Yeah, I love it. I haven't bought a stock in a long time, and just seeing all this stuff, like you said, it just went on a big run. Maybe not the best time to buy in right now, but definitely something that I've been kind of keeping my eye on as, if I'm going to buy a stock, might as well be a crypto stock. Now, I have a couple more questions. I know you're with us on your phone. I really, really appreciate you sticking with us through this. But I have a question here from Esteban, and he's asking, I'm actually curious about this too. Do you have a favorite exchange that you trade your Bitcoin on? Or do you kind of hop around depending on what coins you're looking to trade?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I don't have a favorite one. I kind of stick with the ones that I feel are the more trustworthy ones. Kraken, Coinbase are those. They don't allow me to do as much as I would want to do, but for me, I feel like if I'm going to go to sleep at night, I feel best on those versus some of the other ones.
Love it. So we got one more question here. Half the questions are, Frankie, your audio is low. Yeah, it's like all the way jacked up,
It
guys.
sounds okay to me, but I have my volume up, so who knows?
Okay. So yeah, where was the other question? Okay, I think we asked you this last time, but I'll just ask it again because I'm sure there's more people in here that are new and weren't here for that last show. And this will probably be the last one, I think. But as far as trading, I know we've talked about a little bit what you look for as far as like strategies and stuff, briefly. But do you have any indicators do you have a favorite indicator? Are you a big, do you always look at the RSI or, what have you? Do you have an indicator that you kind of go for?
Yeah, so I use a couple different indicators. I'm not someone who uses like a thousand indicators because I find like it's almost like too much information. You end up getting too many mixed signals. So I found my trusted ones, and for instance, like Fibonacci retrace is a good one. I love drawing my own trend lines. I find that like for me, trend line drawing is a very rare thing amongst investors, therefore it works better. I think when you have an indicator that everyone uses, it tends to not work as well, right? So everyone uses the moving averages now, which they still work, but they have a higher failure rate. So I think, again, sticking with that type of stuff, but Fibonacci, anything that occurs naturally in nature, Fibonacci occurs in nature. The petals on a flower are in a Fibonacci sequence. The rings on a tree, if you cut it down, are in a Fibonacci sequence. Stuff that is inherently in society or in nature, it tends to have a bigger impact on us as humans. So I do use that. RSI I do use, but I'm very strict on it because I've been burned so many times. Just because an RSI goes over 70 or even 80 doesn't mean you're going to see a pullback. So I look for I have a rule. It says, don't use it as an indicator. Number one, you got to find more than one indicator for any trade. It has to be like at least two things that are telling you something before you jump on it. And with an RSI, I want at least 14 days above 70 or 7 days above 80 on the RSI before I use it as an indicator. Because heck, in my early years, I'd be like, oh, the RSI just went over 70, let me short it. And then a month later, it's still over 70 and I'm way out of the money.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing that a lot of people have to learn. I've seen a lot of people, like just people I know, like, oh, look, the RSI is overbought, like time to short, or like, look how low the RSI is, like, and I'm like, that's not necessarily the case. Great advice. I would 100% agree with that.
And I'll just say one thing again with RSIs is I do look for divergences, right? So again, same thing. It's not like a dead on short at this second, but if you look, for instance, at some of the charts recently in the tech sector, in the NASDAQ, there's some major negative divergences on RSI. And basically what's happening is you're seeing higher highs being made on the charts, but lower highs on the RSI. And again, it doesn't tell you like short it today because it's going to fall, but it just tells you a general trend that likely will play out at some point in the future.
Absolutely. I am a big fan of divergences as well. And that's kind of how you could clear up that like confusion on the RSI, right? Like it's like if you see those, the discrepancy between the RSI and the price action gives you a little bit of a better hit rate on that RSI actually making the move for sure. So this will be the actual last question. And this has to do with time frames. Short-term trades and long-term trades. For your long-term investments, do you have a go-to time frame, a higher time frame that you look at for your longer-term investments?
So long-term investment, and for me, long-term is usually like a year and a half. So that I know to a lot of people it might be retirement, but for me that's long-term. I usually start on the daily chart. I analyze the daily chart, and then I flip to the weekly and the monthly to see if I can find things that confirm my viewpoint. Right. So if I see a bull flag on the daily chart, and then I flip to the weekly chart and I see a bear flag, then I'm like, wait a minute. All right, so now I don't trust that setup so much because the bigger time frame is the more dominant time frame, and it takes away from that short term. Now, if I see a bull flag on the weekly and a bull flag on the monthly, or some sort of moving average crossover that's coming into play, now I have two bullish signals on different time frames, and that's going to give me more confidence, probably a higher probability of success. So I think it's very key for swing trading. It's starting on the daily and then moving out. For day trading, I personally use the 10-minute, and then I'll move to the 60-minute, maybe the daily.
Beautiful. I absolutely love it. Well, Gareth, I appreciate you sticking with us through these technical difficulties. And I know the Candle Mafia appreciates it as well. Spitting that value, spitting those facts as usual. Take the last couple seconds, shamelessly shill yourself, let people know where they could find you and what you got going on. And again, I appreciate you coming on.
No, it's always a pleasure. I love talking technicals, Frankie, with you. So thank you for having me. And you guys can find me at Verified Investing. I'm doing a live show tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. called The Game Plan. So I'll be doing that. That's free. You can find it at Verified Investing. And you can also find me at InTheMoneyStocks.com for stocks and commodities.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Gareth. And I was talking to Tony D earlier today. We got to find some time to take a trip down near you to come visit your studios because it's super impressive. I've seen videos. It's super, super cool. We got to come check it out and maybe make some content together for sure.
That would be awesome, Frankie. I would love that.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming on, brother. And we'll see you soon. And hopefully we'll get these technical issues figured out for you.
For sure, buddy. Could be my computer here. You have a wonderful rest of your day. And hi to everyone out there. Take care.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, brother. We'll see you soon. Oh, baby. Guys, Gareth the God Soloway right there. I'm sorry about those technical difficulties, guys, but we need to get Gareth's take on the markets here. So we definitely appreciate Gareth for being here. And thank you, everybody who was asking the questions and put them in the Q&A section. This is like a new part of YouTube that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. So shout out to Gareth Soloway, guys. Go check out his channel. And, there we go. VerifiedInvesting.com. You guys can check that out. Thank you for super chatting that, Tony. But there we go, guys. Crypto Anon said Gareth is a G. Let's go. Absolutely. It's, can you guys see me? Or is this just a black? Oh, no, you can see me. Okay. But yeah, guys, sorry about those technical difficulties. It's kind of hard to talk technicals when you can't show a chart. So, but we appreciate Gareth for sticking through it with us. But guys, we do have some stuff. I can show a chart. I can't guarantee you it's going to be any Gareth Soloway TA, but I can try my best, right? I can try. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and let me go ahead. Mike is clipping. What the? Guys, first the audio was too low. Now it's too high. When Gareth was on, was he like taking some of my audio volume? And then when he came off, I got it all back, and now we're clipping. Let me go ahead and let me lower the microphone and then raise it up here on my levels. Let me know if that is good. Let me know if I'm clipping still, Anon. I appreciate you. Chemistry Bro said, great interview as always. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. I appreciate you. We can hear you loud and clear. Beautiful. Jonas said the mic is out of control. You should beat it. Audio is super loud. You started shouting after Gareth went off. Is it still loud? I could lower it a little bit more. Hopefully that is better. I'm going to roll with this. Gareth retested your volume. Shout out to Darian Does Things. Okay, so with all that being said, guys, shout out to everybody in here. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And again, this is I feel like I don't know what happened with that technical difficulty, but Gareth is an absolute saint for sticking with us through that. But guys, let's go ahead and pull up the charts here so we could do some TA and try to figure out what the heck this thing Bitcoin is going to do, because things are getting a little bit choppy here as we are starting to lose 30K and we are having a little bit of trouble reclaiming it. And it is at a key level. It is a key level, guys, not just because it's 30K. Now too low. Okay, now too low. I will go up one notch. There we go. That should be a little bit better. And then I'll just look out for a... Okay, yeah, I just raised it a little bit. I'm going to let chat go and let me know if it gets better, and I'll just go up another notch. This is hilarious. But guys, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Here we go. But as I was saying, guys, this is a very, very key level, right? Actually, no. Let's pull up Bitcoin. This is not what we want to look at. Pull up Bitcoin on the Bitstamp chart. Now, guys, the range remains exactly the same, right? Now, we are starting to lose the range. And now I am not... Here's the thing, guys. You can see we are starting to lose this range. And I will say, I am low-key rooting for this range to break to the downside. And by break to the downside, I mean not get sucked back up here and come back to the value area high. Because two things. Number one, if we break down out of this range, it will give us something different on the price action that has happened in the past month, right? It gives us a little bit of new price action, and it gives us just something to look at, something different to trade. Price has been very boring for the most part, other than these little deviations away from the range. But if we can get out of this range, decisively, guys, we may be able to come down to some new levels, fill up some new long orders before getting our next move to the upside if it is going to come. But in the more medium to short term here, looking at this range, obviously starting to lose the value area low. Now, why is this important? Now, yesterday in our Fake Out Premiere live stream, shout out to everybody who watched that. I was in chat with you guys. When we lose this, not only are we losing the value area low of the range, which obviously could be a sign, not a sign, but we could expect potentially to get sucked back into the range, come back up towards that POC, and then eventually maybe the value area high. However, if we lose this decisively, and we cannot get back above this level, guys, it will open up the door to come down to these lower prices, potentially getting us as low as $28,675 in the medium term. Doesn't mean we can't go lower than that, but just in the medium term, the next big levels to the downside, if we cannot reclaim this range and come higher, is going to be right here between, I would say, $29,500 would be a big level to watch, which we did wind up coming down to and bouncing off of, as you can see, almost perfectly right here. This is a level we've been looking at for quite some time. And on top of that, if we continue down, the next level we will be looking at is going to be right here at about $29,250, which is our macro value area high from the previous bull market value area low, right? I'm not going to harp on this. We've looked at this a bazillion times on the channel. We have this volume profile right here. I'll highlight it with a box: value area high, value area low, and that value area low is going to be a very key level, because if we're able to stick above this value area low, we will likely, not guaranteed, but if we hold above that value area low, again, coming in at about $29,290 is the level that I am looking at. If we're able to hold above that level, guys, even if we lose it and reclaim it, that is going to open up the door to potentially get a move up to our POC, which on the Bitstamp chart is going to be at around $34,379. Now, it's not going to be a clean, quick move up there. Likely, we will have a lot of turbulence above us that we will be banging our head on the way up to that POC. However, that would be a general target that I would be looking at if we're able to hold that level. So I did just want to point that out. That is where this top of this blue box comes in at $29,260. Obviously going to vary a little bit depending on what exchange you're looking at, but that's where that level comes from and why it's so important. So even if we wind up getting a move down here like this, boom, and we get a bounce, even if we come down here, I will be looking for a bounce off this level. But even if we lose the level, guys, even if we lose it, we could come down to this value area low and then even if we deviate a little bit, we could get back up in here. And once we reclaim this level, this is going to be a key level to watch, because it will be opening the door to much, much, much higher prices based off that value area from the top in 2021. Let's see. Shout out to Creighton C. Says, if Dave asks if he can stop sitting on his hands, say no. Happy birthday, Phil. Also, was that DZ yesterday? Was that why there were no lights? Shout out to Creighton C. Yeah, I think you're referring to the dark picture on our new set. We're waiting on extra lights. That's why it was so dark. And no, it was not DZ. Wait, what? It was what, DZ? I'm confused, Creighton. You confused me there. You kind of bamboozled me. But yes, Dave, you could sit on your hands for another 5 minutes, and then you can get off of them. But shout out to Darren Does Things. Darren says, I would be proud of him for how patient he's being. So shout out to Darren Does Things. I will say that, guys, if you're out there trading, I'll kind of give you some insight here. Over the past few weeks, other than the range trades, before the XRP breakout, we were crushing this range trading, trading the highs, trading the lows, crushing it in the premium Discord. And I will say this, guys. Since the XRP pump, and even a little bit before it, this range has been a little bit, obviously it has been respected, but the price action has been very, very sketchy and very choppy, basically since the XRP pump. And for this reason, guys, I've been sitting on my hands for a while. Not for a while, but I've been less aggressive with the trades. I have not been forcing the trades. I have been sitting on my hands, waiting for the stronger setups, because, like I said, we've been getting a lot of mixed signals recently, especially with money flow coming out on Market Cypher, which I'm going to dig into that right now. So I did just kind of want to cover the key level of losing 30K, because that was kind of a big part of the thumbnail, was like, hey, we're losing 30K. This is a key level. Not only Is it a key level? Because it's a psychological level. Not only are we losing now our value area low, but losing this value area low, guys, is also, this level at 30K is also the point of control of this macro range that we're looking at. Point of control here, and then we also have another point of control down here. So there's two previous POCs looking at this kind of darker white box, or would it be a lighter white box? More saturated white. Can white be saturated, or does it have to be a color? I don't know. But you can see this small white box here, guys. This is the two previous POCs of not only the local range, right? This local range we just looked at, but it is also the macro, right? So the bottom right here is the value area low, and then we have a POC in the middle from another range, and we have the macro POC when you pull the range all the way from May of 2022 from the price action all the way back here. So not only are we losing the value area low, but we're also losing the POC of the macro range, which where does price go? Where is price likely to go once you lose that POC? Creighton, let me know in the chat. Oh, Hamza. Oh, Creighton. Hamza beat you to it. Quick on the trigger. Value area low. But Creighton C was right underneath him with value area low. Shout out to Creighton C. He never gets this wrong. But yeah, when you lose that POC, your next likely place for price to go is going to be that value area low, which is for the most part sitting down here between two very key levels, guys. $28,650 and simply put, 28.8K. These are the two major value area lows that I am looking at, and again, it's let me go over this so you guys all understand it. You have 2 points of control in this white box. If you lose that level, you're likely to go to the value area low. The value area low of one of the ranges is down here at 28.6 or 28.650. And then the other value area low is coming in at about 28.8K, as I just said. But let me go ahead and mark this out with a darker blue box. So we know that it's a level, but so is the lighter blue box. But this is also a level, right? So this darker, I'm actually going to change the literal color of it. I'm going to make it a little bit darker blue, right? So these are the levels that we're looking at to the downside. We can't get above this POC. That is going to make it more likely that we come down to, obviously, these intermediary levels. But really, once you lose that POC, due to the logic of the volume profile, you're expecting to come to the value area low, which we are looking at two, just like we're looking at two POCs. We're looking at two value area lows, and those are coming in between 28.8K and $28,650, this darker blue box down here. So that's what we're looking for, guys. And then, obviously, you have the level here, this bigger top of the bigger blue box at 29,250, 29,290 is really the level I'm watching. But these are the levels to the downside, guys. And again, like just simplifying what we're looking at here, simply losing the POC could indicate that we go to the value area low, which is all the way down here. And you might be thinking to yourself, I thought you were long-term bullish, Frankie Candles. I thought you were long-term bullish. What happened? I am still long-term bullish, right? And another reason why I will be really happy if we get this breakdown, guys, is simply for the fact that we've been looking at the money flow, particularly on the 4-hour time frame, coming to the downside, which was indicating that we were likely to get a move down first before getting our next big leg to the upside. And this was not just the 4-hour money flow. It was also the higher hourly time frames like the 10-hour, which is now crossing over into the red. A little bit more bearish, guys. 12-hour. Money flow coming to the downside, right? This is also a bearish indication. So you guys will totally be aware of this because I've been talking about this for the past 3 weeks. We've been looking at the same money flows coming out, guys. I think this range is likely to break to the downside before we get our next big leg up. And every time we come down, we just get sucked back into the value area. And even when we came up, I was like, okay, I knew it because as you guys know, because of the mixed signals, I was saying like, maybe the money flow gives us a false signal here. And I thought we were going to be wrong right here when we pumped on XRP. I was like, this is it. This is our next leg up. XRP got the news. Bitcoin's going to follow. And simply put, we came right up to the value area high. Look at the respect on the value area high. We wicked up, closed the candles below. Absolute reversal. Where were you expecting to go once you reversed here? Straight to the POC. And now we were just stuck in that local range, and now we are starting to break back down to the downside. And I don't know if this is going to be a fake out, but I will say, like, I thought we were going to be wrong here. Then we got back in the range. Now we're breaking down. If this winds up breaking to the downside, guys, it will simply just make me feel a little less crazy for harping on this money flow on the 4-hour. And if we do wind up decisively breaking down below this range, guys, I'm not going to come on here and brag about me. I'm going to come on here and brag about that money flow, because the money flow never lies. Shout out to Market Cypher. Shout out to Crypto Face. You guys can check that discount code in the description down below. But for real, this money flow had been dragging out for quite some time, and I was like, I don't know, maybe we get a false signal. It happens from time to time. It's not very often, but it does happen from time to time. And in a bullish environment like we're in, it's just shout out to CJ Baker said, I got no warning. I just got banned. I could see you. I don't think you're that means you're not banned unless they unbanned you. Maybe they banned you by accident. I don't know. Shout out to CJ Baker, though. I appreciate you for being here, bro. But this money flow, if it breaks to the downside, if price action decisively breaks to the downside, guys, I will be beside myself, just because I felt so crazy. I felt so crazy being like, guys, the money, and everyone's calling bull flag, bull flag, bull flag, bullish consolidation, which isn't wrong. Which is why we looked at the bullish case as well. But I kept saying, I cannot unsee the money flow. And I would just be very happy if it winds up being right, because I'll feel a lot less crazy. But again, guys, levels to the downside remain the same. And again, I would go ahead and say, just looking at the indicators, now I will say, I don't think we're just going to insta-dump. But the indicators, just like they have for the past month, are slightly pointing a little bit more towards a bigger break to the downside before our next big leg up. 10-hour money flow crossing over into the red. 12-hour money flow coming out. 8-hour money flow crossing over into the red. 6-hour money flow crossing over into the red, right? When you see this stuff, a lot of times it does indicate that the trend will continue down. But like I said, you guys might be asking, I thought you were bullish long term, and I am. However, even if we do get that move all the way to the bottom of the range, right, to the value area low, this would simply just be a higher low before getting our next big leg to the upside. So in the macro, I am still bullish. I do think this can continue to the upside, but a bigger cool-off can indeed come in here before putting in a higher low. Even if we came down to this golden pocket at about 27.2, 27.3, we could come down here and then get another move to the upside, and it is simply just a higher low before continuing to the upside. So even if we came all the way down there, I am still bullish in the long term. We would really have to break these lows down here closer to about 25K for me to flip bearish in the long term, which isn't impossible, but we're very far away from there. And I will also point out here, guys, we've been looking at other things other than money flow that was pointing to the downside, and it's not like we got a massive dump or anything. I'm just saying this is also on the team of, hey, maybe a bigger move down is coming before our next big move up. Not only is it the weekly VWAP with looking for a red dot, it's also the 6-day looking to print a red dot, the 5-day looking to print a red dot, the 4-day is now printing the red dot. So this combined or in confluence with the higher hourly timeframes and the medium hourly timeframes, having money flow coming out, when you have those red dots on the high daily timeframes with the money flow coming out on the hourly timeframes, a lot of times that can give you a bigger move down. This is how I interpret the timeframes, right? And it works out very well. And on top of that, you do have bearish divergence here on the higher daily timeframes as well. That's something we've been looking at for quite some time. But even though we have these bearish divergences on the higher time frames, guys, I will be expecting these. I'm not expecting these to bring us to zero. I'm expecting them to give us a healthy correction before turning around and continuing back to the upside. So again, sentiment remains exactly the same as it has been for the past almost 4 weeks. Looking for that shorter term pullback to continue before putting in that higher low and then continuing to the upside. So there you go, guys. But in the short term, it does look like we may VWAP on the daily starting to come back up. It doesn't look like we're going to get a green dot today or tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow, but more likely in the next 2 days. But if you start coming down to these other time frames, your 16-hour or your 10-hour is curving up with your VWAP, looking for a bounce. 8-hour is looking for a bounce coming up soon. Your 6-hour looking for the green dot, your 5-hour looking for the green dot, and that 4-hour is likely going to be where we see that bounce come in. But again, with my bearish leaning bias in the medium term, I will be looking for this to be a lackluster bounce before reversing back to the downside. So I would pull a fib from this little swing high here all the way to the low. And simply put, guys, not only are we going to be looking at this 786 Fibonacci, 786 golden pocket retracement level for a potential rejection, but on top of that, this rejection zone is also almost in perfect confluence with our points of control. So a lot of times what you'll see is a loss of the point of control and then a retrace to bearishly retest it, and then that is where you get the bigger move to the downside. So that is what I'm looking at. That rejection zone is going to be between about 30,083 and about 30,241. And again, it's simply just a golden pocket retracement. And with that being said, guys, I will show you this. Now, this is something I believe I looked at on yesterday's premiere, and that was this retest before getting our next move down. I believe we were looking at a golden pocket retracement level to look for potential short entries, right? We were looking for a bounce and then looking for a retracement and then a potential next move down. And where'd that come in, guys? It came in at that local Fibonacci retracement level, right? That 786 golden pocket rejection zone. And what happened, right? We came down. We were moving down. Was this yesterday? That was the 17th. Yeah, 3 p.m. We were moving down. We were starting to get a little bit of a bounce here, right? And we were looking for a potential move up into this short term or into this Fibonacci retracement level before getting another lower low. And the reason I bring this up, guys, is because this is how the market typically moves, right? You guys always talk to me, or you guys always hear me say, you guys also always talk to me, but you guys always see me say, we look for a lackluster bounce and then a lower high and then a continuation to the downside. This is what I mean, and that's typically where those lower highs come in. It's between the golden pocket and that 786 retracement level, and we saw that play out almost to the dollar here on that 786 retracement before getting a big move to the downside. And shout out to Terry James. I appreciate that. Bing! And shout out to Terry James again. Shout out for the bong, bing, bong. I think that's like a meme, that song. They changed like a Christmas song to Bing Bong. I forget what song it is. But shout out to you, bro. Shout out to When King Dutch. Shout out to you, bro. It says, bong, let's go. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for those super chats, guys. I do appreciate you. Let's see. Shout out to Thesis himself, said, no self-respecting pro-level formation trader would call this range a bull flag or bull pennant. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like, Thesis, I felt alone, man. I'm not going to lie. That's why I'm kind of just hoping for my own sanity this winds up continuing to break down, because I've been looking for the money flow to bring us down for a leg down, potentially low of the range before getting our next big leg up for almost a month now. And I just feel like everybody I see is like, oh my God, it's a bull flag. It's a bull flag. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. The bullish emotion, guys, when we get a bullish movement, like the bullish emotion that comes out in just the space in general on Twitter, on YouTube, just in general amongst your crypto friends, everybody thinks that everything goes up in a straight line, and I think that's the biggest flaw for retail, is like you get a pump and then everybody thinks it's just going to continue and continue and continue. Now I'm bullish. I think it's going to continue, but it just looks like, again, like looking at the daily time frames, another big thing we've been watching, these VWAPs, they all, like, none of these daily time frames look primed for an explosion, right? That none of them look primed for an explosion. They all look like they want to cool off. Now, they do look bullish in the long term. Like this 6-day looks bullish. Fresh money flow crossover on the weekly, on the 6-day. If this winds up turning into a big blue wave, guys, this could be huge. Same thing on the weekly, but none of these, like even the weekly VWAP, we're looking for the bearish divergence to print. VWAP is coming down. Even if we didn't have a bearish divergence on the weekly, I would be looking for that red dot to cool us off and give us some kind of a retracement to the downside before the continuation up. So I feel like I was the only one not calling that. Again, I'm not a pattern trader, guys. But like, I'm not gonna lie, like it did start to look like it looked a lot more like bullish consolidation to me, like sooner after the pump. Like this was looking more like bullish consolidation to me. Like I would even argue, like even after this or before this, like this still doesn't, like when we were coming up here and we were like in this situation, like I would look at this and be like, I mean, maybe it's a bull pennant. But then it just like continued and continued and continued, and then people started calling it a flag, and I feel like I was the only person calling for a move down before our next big move up. And again, I would just love to see this play out so I can just feel justified in what I thought was going to happen. But anyway, guys, with all that being said, those are our thoughts on Bitcoin. Pray for my sanity. Hopefully we break down and I can say, hey, look, I told you guys, I'm not a crazy person. Money flow and the daily time frames very rarely lie. But with all that being said, guys, like I said, short-term bounce, 4-hour green dot is likely going to give us excuse me, some type of a bounce here. But now you guys know kind of the area that I am looking for a bearish retest before a further continuation down. And if we don't bearishly retest this and reject, simply bringing it back to the ranges, guys. Simply bringing it back to the ranges. If we get back above here and we don't reject that POC Golden Pocket 786 and we're able to hold above in this range, we are simply looking to come to the value area high and continue trading this mundane, boring range. So there you go. That's what we're looking at, guys. And with all that being said, shout out to the 992 people still in here. I appreciate everybody for sticking around this far into the stream. Smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get, you guys get to spin on that wheel of pain and pleasure. And if we get 850 likes on tonight's stream, I will spin that wheel 10 times, and maybe I will add something really cool to the giveaway this week. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be good. I can tell you that. And we still have our 50K giveaway. Tony D, let's talk about that tomorrow. I want to get this 50K. I want to get this 50K giveaway done or figured out because I want to do something really cool for 50K. I can't believe we got there. Can I get a wheel spin for me? Shout out to CJ Baker. Shout out to CJ. But yeah, that's what we're looking for, or that's what I want to do, guys. I want to do a really cool giveaway for 50K subs. Super cool. We've grown this YouTube channel like crazy, and I want to give back to you guys for helping us hit that milestone. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that hopefully on Friday, and then obviously smash that like button. 800 likes, I'll spin the wheel, or 850 likes, I'll spin that wheel 15 times. I think I said 10 at first. We're gonna make it 15, and hopefully we can give away a bunch of really cool. A lot of really cool stuff. I knew we would hit 50K. Shout out to Crypto Pollo. Let's go. I appreciate you, bro. Yes, XRP looking for the next leg up on Thursday. Shout out to Punk Hazard. Shout out to you, bro. Let me know in the chat why Thursday. I'm curious. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just curious why. But yeah, we will be checking out XRP here in a minute, guys. But first, go ahead and drop your altcoins, guys. If you want me to take a look at your altcoins, go ahead and throw them in chat right now. I will start taking a look at them. But while you guys are doing that, well, Rob the Crypto Snob will obviously count up the votes and let us know what altcoins we're looking at. But I'm going to start off with Ethereum, or Erythrium, as your grandmother might call it, which is looking very similar to Bitcoin, right? 4-hour green dot is now printing. We are starting to get a little bit of a pop up here. Nothing really to write home about, but looking just, I mean, again, guys, like the levels for Ethereum have not really changed either. Just simply looking at this range, that was a horrible line. There's the altcoins. Let's go. Let's see. Woof Woof said, how much chance you think Quant will hit $50 again? Shout out to Woof Woof. Did I say Terry? Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Yo, hold on a second. Trey, I called you Terry? I got to check tape on that. There's no way I called you Terry. If I called you Terry, bro, I apologize. That's hilarious. Why would I say Terry? Like, it doesn't even, I mean, sure. Like, Terry, that's hilarious. Shout out to Trey. I apologize for butchering your name. The simplest of names that I've ever butchered. Usually I butcher the really hard names. Like, sometimes there's some crazy names in here. And sometimes I get them right. I'm actually shocked. I get them right more often than I get them wrong. But I will say, Trey has got to be, like, that's not a hard name. That's not a hard name to mess. Like, that's a hard name to mess up. So shout out to Trey. Thank you for another super chat. Simply says, Frankie, my name isn't Terry. I'm dying. I don't know why that's so funny. Shout out to Trey. I almost said Terry again. Shout out to Trey. Yeah, shout out to Creighton C. I disappeared. Shout out to Creighton C. But yeah, it's and thank you for the next super chat that says it's Trey. Just Trey, not Terry. Shout out to Trey. Duly noted, my friend. Shout out to you. Yeah, Woof Woof says my liquidation point is $51 on Quant. We could take a look at Quant. Rob, if you could add Quant to that list, we will definitely try to take a look at it. Shout out to Wick589. I will. It says my uncle is a butcher. I'm offended. Shout out to Wick589. But yeah, it's really, really, really hard for me to tell you if it's likely for Quant to pump past $50 or break its previous all-time high. It's very, very hard. I do think Quant will do good in the next bull run. It's got good tech, right? It's a good project. As use case, it's a solid project, right? So I don't see a reason why it wouldn't, but please understand that's extremely speculative. Like, I am not an expert on quant. It's not one of those coins that I know everything about or anything like that. So it's a very speculative thing. You have to understand, like, especially if you guys are going to be watching like YouTube, especially with the bull market coming up. I've been saying this a lot recently because like 'tis the season for price predictions. Be careful, guys. Whether you're listening to me, and I will be doing price predictions. We do our millionaire videos, which is like how much of X coin do you have to hold to become a millionaire. Those are not price prediction videos. That is assuming price gets to one level. That, how many coins, if it gets to this price, would you have to hold to become a millionaire? That's not a price prediction. That is just, you need those predictions or assumptions to make those calculations on how many you have to hold to become a millionaire. I'm going to come back to chat in just 2 seconds, but this is important, guys. Please understand, like, I am going to be doing price prediction videos where I am sitting at the chart, right? Like, where I'm saying, like, how realistically, when you look at market cap and what the project is, how good is the tech on a technical level, how high can we pump? We'll actually take a look at the chart and the information to find somewhat realistic price predictions based off the technicals. However, even with the charts involved, guys, you have to understand that any price prediction you see someone talk about, and on this channel, you're going to see numbers and data and information, not just some random, I'm feeling really bullish because I'm an Ethereum bull. I think it's going to 100K. You're not going to get that from me. You're going to get information and calculations out of this channel with actual info. But not all channels do that, right? Some channels just go like, I'm an XRP guy. I XRP to $1 million, like with really no reasoning or some kind of conspiracy theory behind it. Just be careful, because any price prediction, even the ones I give you that are basically just data driven, are very, very speculative, and there is no guarantee. Even if the chart is screaming that XRP wants to go to $10, there is no guarantee that it goes to $10. And so just be careful, because there's likely going to be a lot of content out there and a lot of people in the crypto space that when someone says something like XRP is not going to 10K, they're going to be like, this guy's an idiot, he's going to be poor. And you don't want to listen to these people. You want to listen to people who have sound, conservative predictions. This is a mistake that I made in 2016, 2017, is don't listen to just some random speculative prediction, because you're going to wind up waiting for that number. And chances are most of the people that you watch, especially if you're on something like TikTok or something like that, like, these people are just making these numbers up, right? They just think it could pump this high. And again, even me, when I show you the charts, there's still no guarantee that price is going to go to these levels, right? So it's all speculative. You have to do your own research. And at the end of the day, this is not what really anyone wants to do. I don't think there's a lot of people that don't want to take the responsibility of losing money for themselves. They'd rather blame it on a YouTuber or a friend or someone who told them to buy it. Regardless of how bullish or bearish we are on anything or how much information we give you on where price can go, you have to understand, when you buy an asset, this is never financial advice, and you're making that decision yourself, and you have to do that. And if you ever lose money, whether you're listening to, whoever you're listening to, if someone tells you, if your friend comes up to you and says, buy this altcoin, it's going to $1 million, and you buy the altcoin, you lose all your money, that is your fault, not their fault, right? They might have told you to buy it, but you bought it, right? So take responsibility for your own finances. And I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing on this channel is financial advice. This is all entertainment and education. But just understand that even if it's your friend, right? Like, it's all speculative. So just be careful out there. But anyway, take a look at Ethereum, guys. So there you go. Quant, we'll take a look at the chart. I'll give you my thoughts on it. But just understand, like, that is very speculative. Like, just even if I said I definitely think it's going to break all-time highs, it might not. So just take that for what it's worth. And I think I'm like one of the few content creators out there that is willing to say that out loud. Because it's not the best. It's not that it's not good for views, but I'm really telling people what they don't want to hear. People want to hear Ethereum's going to 50K and it's guaranteed. That's what they want to hear, right? But that's just simply not how the markets work. That's not how this works, right? And if you want to win in this game, you have to play by the rules of how it actually works, not Moon Boy, hopium, right? But anyway, continuing on. Shout out to Creighton C, said it was Terry, but it's Terry from I just read it as Terry again. He said it's Trey, but it's Terry from now on. Sorry, Terry. Blame Frankie. Apparently, I'm not dyslexic, guys, but for some reason, Terry messes me up. Guys, shout out to my dad. My dad is in chat. We got, shout out to my dad. I appreciate, hey, Dad, look at me. Look, I'm on YouTube, and I'm being honest. I'm not out here giving that hopium Moon Boy price prediction. We just look at the numbers. Shout out to my dad, guys. Also, quite the day trader himself. A lot of people don't know this. My dad does day trade, not only stocks, but now he day trades crypto too. So shout out to my dad, guys. Appreciate you for tuning in, Dad. I appreciate you. Guys, show him some love. He's the real godfather, guys. He's the real godfather. I'm just like the front man. So shout out to my dad, guys. Hey, yo, Frank's dad, let's go. Shout out to Creighton C for gifting the 5 Frankie Candles memberships. I appreciate you, bro. And also, guys, shout out to everybody who gifts the memberships. I did not realize Tony D actually showed me what they cost to gift. Guys, whoever is gifting these memberships, they are spending a lot of money. When you see somebody gift 50 memberships, it's a lot of money. It's hundreds of dollars. So shout out to Mr. Wolf, shout out to Hannah King, shout out to Crypto and Yogurt, Kenton Smith, Crypto Billy, like everybody. I can't name everybody, but everybody who gives the memberships, guys, I see you. I see you. It's not cheap, and the dedication is real, and I love you guys dearly for it. So shout out to you guys, and I know the Candle Mafia loves it as well. But yeah, okay. All right, let's continue on. Oh, see, this is a hard name. Ryugu says Bitcoin to 0. Let's go. All right, let's continue on, guys. Taking a look at Ethereum. Now, yeah, here we go. I hope my dad didn't pop in and then leave after I shouted him out. But shout out to my dad. But, guys, taking a look here. Ethereum. 100K in 2 weeks. Easy. I'm just kidding, guys. Come on. What did we just talk about? It's all a joke. Anyway, taking a look here. I mean, levels remain the same. We're just looking at our volume profile, as I just talked about. Now, looking at the indicators on the daily, you know, red dot confirmed. Nothing really giving me any thoughts that we are about to just blast off out of this range. Taking a look at some of the higher time frames. Same deal. 3-day red dot printing. 2-day red dot confirmed. 5-day red dot looking to print, and your 4-day also looking to print a red dot. Now, you don't have the bearish divergences like you do on Bitcoin, but you have the red dots coming, right? Like these daily time frames are not screaming, I'm primed to rip to the upside. They don't scream they're going to go to 0, but when people are looking for these coins to make another huge move, these daily time frames likely, not 100%, but likely have to cool off and reset themselves before priming up for another move. So Ethereum looking very similar to Bitcoin. Money flow coming out on your 12-hour. Money flow also coming out on your 10-hour generally. Now, you are looking to print a green dot here, so I would expect some kind of bing-bong in around here. A little bit of sideways action. So in the short term, you know, 8-hour looking for the green dot. 6-hour looking for the green dot. And again, your 4-hour green dot is printing. So in the short term, probably looking for maybe a little bing bong above the value area high. But again, your real indicator here right now, guys, is going to be this value area high coming in at $1,925. And, you know, if we're able to decisively get above this level, that's where we can start to look and say, hey, maybe we'll get another move up. But again, I don't think it's likely for this to be a big move to the upside until those daily timeframes cool off. So in the short term, I will look for Ethereum to move up a little bit, maybe kind of just consolidate where it's been consolidating. But again, looking to either hold the value area low or value area high as support, or come back up and get stuck underneath it. If we cannot break out of this value area high, I will expect a potential move back down to our next level here at about 1730, which is the value area low of the range. Now, obviously, you have your point of control up here at about 1818. Right here. So that would be your next level. So if we can't get back above that value area high, the next likely place for price to go would be 1818 to visit your POC. And then if you don't get a heavy bounce off of that and come out of the range, you will be looking down towards right here at about 1730 for the value area low. Simply just looking at the same range we've been looking at forever. And until we decisively break out of it to the upside or the downside, I will be looking at these levels to get respected. And as you guys know, we have been looking at a little bit more of a local range on Ethereum as well. So these levels, although not as important when looking at the medium term, in the short term, these are levels you can look for, right? So like I said, that 4-hour green dot, 6-hour green dot looking to print, if this is going to give us a bit of kind of ranging action here, and we do come out of the value area again, you could look at this level up here at 1940. Great year, by the way. 1940, if we do come out of that value area high, we could come up and test the local value area high, which is just above the macro range, coming in at 1940, and that might be where we get the rejection back down. So these are just a couple of more local levels. Again, just simply put, you're looking at the macro range pulled from about March 12th, 2023 to the current price action, and then we are simply just looking at this Then we are just simply looking at this local range. We're just breaking up price action into ranges, right? You have the macro range, right? And then you have another sideways range somewhat right here. So if you wanted to find local levels between your value area, macro value area high and your macro POC, you could pull that local range on the sideways price action, and there you go. Now you have some levels in between your value area high and your POC in the macro, and you could just look at these levels intermediarily, if you will, if that's even a word. But there you go. But those are the levels I would be watching for, guys. Again, like maybe a small deviation from the range, but again, the higher time frames would call for a bigger pullback. Next key level, or the next two key levels of support, I would say, would be the local value area low at 1850, but more importantly, the macro POC at 1818 is the big level I'd be watching. So there you guys go. All right, let's see. Shout out to Mike Farley. Shout out to you, bro. Says, Frankie, it was good to see you on Sid City Crypto today. Yeah, I love going on that show, man. That's I love chopping it up with them. They always got some really, really good perspectives, and they got good questions. And also, I will say this, guys. I like to say we have one of the higher produced shows here on YouTube. As you guys know, we got all the fun transitions. We got the overlay. We got the animated background. Like, it's cool. But I will say, guys, Sin City Crypto has a pretty highly produced show as well with sound effects, callers, people calling in just like us. I highly respect their production value for sure. And again, they're just great people, and I love, chopping it up about crypto. But there we go, guys. That's Ethereum. So let's go ahead. Did we get the altcoin votes in or not? Let's see. I'm sure we did. Rob the Crypto Snob. Let's see. I know it's in here somewhere. Rob. Let's see. Show ETH. Let's go. Shout out to Rob. But yeah, if you, Rob, if you could just send that again, it's probably already in the chat. But yeah, I will take a look at XRP next, or we'll take a look at Quant next. I forget who asked for it, but we will take a look at it for you, bro. But like I said, please take this. I would never do this, but even if I got on here and I said, "Oh my God, we have a macro POC at whatever the reason was for Quant to rip above $50, or did he say $50, or did he say break the next all-time high?" Or he's in a long and the liquidation point is at $51. I think that's what he said, maybe. Maybe that's what he was asking. What's the likelihood of Quant going back down to $50? Or maybe he's in a short and and now he's stuck in the long. I don't remember exactly what he was asking. If you put it in chat, I will try to. Thank you, Rob. Thank you for that. It is pinned. I appreciate you, brother. But yeah, I don't remember exactly what he was looking for, but I will just go ahead and do the. Liquidation price is $51. Okay. So he's in a. Okay. So he's in a long. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think it's impossible to never see $51 again. Take that with a grain of salt. All it takes is one more black swan, Bitcoin dominance to absolutely rip. Like, all the altcoins get bad news. So don't take that. Like, hopefully, what I would do if I were you is set a stop loss. Like, if you're big in profit, if you're long, I don't know where you're long from. I'm sure you said that as well. I can't find the chat, but set a stop loss. You should not be worried about if you're trading with money. If getting liquidated on this trade is going to ruin you financially, you should just close the trade if you're in profit right now. I would just set a stop loss or just close the trade right now and take your money. Because if it's a position that you're not, if you get liquidated, you're like, I lost all my money, but it's not a big deal to you. That's different. But like, if this is money you do not want to lose, you shouldn't even care about where your liquidation point is, in my opinion, because you should never be in danger of getting liquidated because you should be using a stop loss. Because all it takes, again, is some crazy black swan, and then you lose all your money, right? So I don't recommend flying without a stop loss at all. But I will say this. You're pretty far off $51. So, I don't even know. I mean, that might have been, I don't know if you're going to get all the way back down there, I'll be honest. But there's no way for me to know that for sure. But I will say, if your liquidation point is all the way at $51, definitely not impossible to get down there, but I don't think it would be likely unless we saw some kind of crazy bearish altcoin news, which is definitely possible. It's definitely possible to get some kind of bearish news for the altcoins. Like Gareth was just saying, looking for that bigger move, looking for another dump on the altcoins off of some bearish news with the SEC. So, definitely not impossible. But my advice here, this is not financial advice, but what I would do in this situation is I wouldn't even know where my liquidation point is because I don't really pay attention to it because I'm never at risk of getting liquidated because I always use a stop loss. So that's kind of the easy answer. And then if you want just a speculative prediction, it's hard for me to say. I would say, unless we get some kind of crazy bearish news out of the SEC regarding altcoins, I think that could bring you back down there. But if that doesn't happen, I'm in the camp that the bottom is in for Bitcoin and that the altcoins have experienced most of their pain for this bear market. So take that for what it's worth. I know that's probably not the answer you're looking for, but that's the honest answer, right? So yeah, and if you got someone out there saying, listen, I don't think it's likely to come back down here unless you get that black swan news. But again, there's no guarantees, right? But there you go. I mean, that's pretty far off. But in my opinion, I would just set a stop loss so you get stopped out at a small loss rather than lose all your money. But there you go. Hopefully that helps you out. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight into what I would do in that situation, and hopefully that helps you at the end of the day. So shout out to you, man. Again, I keep forgetting. Woof woof. I'm in a 10x long from $100, but I only set 2 quant and 8 as margin. Okay, so you're not worried about losing all the money, is what I assume that means. So yeah, but yeah, in a long from 100, yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's do the TA. Let me try to see where I think it's going long term, and maybe that'll help you as well. But yeah, let's see. Let me go ahead and pull this little golden bucket. All right, you're losing the 786 here. But if you pull it, well, let's see. I'm going to start off nice and fresh for quant. Actually, bear with me, guys. There's not much on here, so I'm just going to, yeah, you came to the bottom of this is probably the last time we looked at quant. You were at the low of your range, right? And then looking at the weekly, you're at the low of your range. Money flow's starting to come up. Well, actually, it's coming back out now. That's a little bit more bearish, but generally, you're kind of coming up here. But you're at the low of your macro value area or your macro range here. Got to push up towards that POC. Now you're kind of hanging out around the POC. But money flow on the daily doesn't look bad. I will say that. Money flow is generally trending to the upside on your daily, right? And momentum is also trending to the upside. That is also a good sign in the medium to long term. So this is pointing up. Basic market cipher strategy would say this is pointed in the upward direction. And the fact that you are at the lows of your macro range, this would be, somewhat of a good sign, right? You got the bounce. Now you're hanging out at your POC. So this is somewhat of a good sign, in my opinion. Now, if you are able, if we come down to some of these lower time frames, your 12-hour red dot is printing. I would look for a potential bullish divergence here if your momentum wave does not make a new low here. So yeah, I read that on the 12 hours, not the best look, but overall your money flow is trending up, and that does indicate the longer term trend. 10-hour red dot is confirmed. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. Yeah, 4-hour VWAP's coming up. Money flow's coming up on the 4-hour as well. You do have a slight bearish divergence here as well. So lower lows on your price action, higher lows on your momentum waves. Can we see a move up for quant here, potentially in the short term? And again, spawning our macro level here, I would say, if you do get a bounce, actually, let's go ahead and move this to our current price action. If you wind up getting a bounce here, I would look for resistance at the macro point of control at about 106. If you're in a long from $100, which is... yeah, you're at a long here. I do think it's likely that you will get back into the green at some point. But I don't know. There's a lot to that question, right? Is this a swing trade? Is this a scalp trade? I don't know what time frames you're looking at. But I do think off this bullish divergence on the 4-hour, this next green dot on the 4-hour for quant is likely to give you some kind of a move to the upside, just because of the nature of a bullish divergence. And you have money flow coming up, which would be in agreement with that hypothesis. But if we pull our fib from the high to the low here, if this is going to be the low, some areas I would look for some local resistance. Big area to watch. Again, that point of control coming in at 106.10. But you also have your 786 and golden pocket retracement levels in that area as well. So this whole range between 104.70 and 106.40 is going to be a big level of resistance that I would look at if you do make it back up there. Not a bad place to maybe look to take profit and then move your stop loss up either into profit or to break even. And then you don't even have to worry about that liquidation point because you're guaranteed locked in profits, guaranteed winning trade, right? Because you move your stop loss to break even. You've already taken money out of the trade. If it moons, you're in the trade. You make more money. It turns into a grand slam. And if you're wrong and it comes back down, you get stopped out at break even, but you've already paid yourself out of the trade. So it's guaranteed winning trade. There's zero chance you lose that trade unless your stop loss doesn't get triggered for whatever reason. But really, it locks in that guaranteed winning trade. It's a great strategy to use. So that's kind of what I would look in the medium term. I do this next green dot on your 4 hour, if you could get it soon, is likely to give you some kind of a move to the upside. Again, no guarantees. Now, another level I may look at for a potential rejection would kind of be right down here, this golden pocket at about 102, 103, actually 103 even. This would kind of be another level that I would keep an eye out for a potential rejection. That 786 is coming in at 103.80. But yeah, these are kind of the rejection areas that I would look for. So if you do get a pop off this bullish divergence, I would probably be looking to take some profits here at 103 and then maybe some profits here. These are just generally the areas where I would be looking to potentially lock in some profits because it's likely where you're going to see some resistance. I mean, again, you're on 10x leverage, so even your most local golden pocket here at 101. It all depends. I don't know how much money you're. I don't know how much money is a lot of money to you and all that. So it's a little bit more to the. It's a little bit more of a complicated question than will we see $51 again? But that's what I would look for on quant, just in general, and for that trade. So hopefully it helps you out and gave you some insight, brother. I hope I was able to. Hopefully I was able to help you there. But let's see. Shout out to Ziva Crypto Girl, said, I've been rewatching streams and using replay mode on TradingView, working on my next trade strategy. When I win, I'm getting a membership and spamming the Frankie Candles face emoji. Let's go. Shout out to Ziva Crypto Girl. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And yeah, shout out to you. Connor Wood says, Cass, keep hearing whispers throughout Hit Network. Also, what's the one the Druth is into? Thanks for all you do. Shout out to Connor. I'm gonna have to talk to the Druth because I don't know exactly. What you're talking about or what he's looking at. But we could take a look at Cass for sure. We actually just dropped a video on Caspa. If you want to check it out on our Sunday Sauce video. But yeah, that is. But yeah, that's what I would check out our Cas video. It's more of like a how much Caspa do you have to hold to become a millionaire in the next bull market. But we will take a look at the Cas chart. Hopefully, is it on the list today? I don't know if it is. It's not, but maybe we'll add it if we could fly through these quick enough. But yeah, I appreciate the super chat, man. We will take a look at Cas, and I'll talk to the Druth about that coin that he's bullish on. I'm not sure exactly what it is. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. But yeah, let's take a look here. But there's quant. Actually, I think it should just get a little bit of a push up. Yeah, there you go. I would watch that 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, just in general, guys, not just for Woof Woof's trade, but just in general, that 4 hour bullish divergence, I mean, may give you something. It may give you something. And then you do have it here on the 2 hour as well. Not as strong, but it is there. Hey, shout out to Hannah King gifting that one Frankie Candles membership. I appreciate you, Hannah King. You never know. Hannah King just pops in, drops that membership. Shout out to you, Hannah. We appreciate you. And I don't know if you were in here, but Tony showed me the how much people have to spend to gift memberships, and that's crazy, Hannah. Shout out to you. I did not know they were that expensive. When you buy 50 of them at once, obviously. They're pretty cheap individually, but when you buy 50 of them at once, that's a pretty penny. That's not a little bit of money. So shout out to Hannah King. I do appreciate you. But let's go ahead and let's go ahead and continue on. But yeah, again, like 2 hour bull div. I mean, do you have anything locally that was setting up for a bullish move? No bullish divergence on the 15-minute. But again, I'd watch that 4 hour bull div on quant for a move up. All right, let's go ahead and continue on to XRP. The star of the show here, guys. Oh my God, guys. Are we going to see a repeat of history here? So here's the thing, guys. My opinion My opinion on XRP is essentially, let's take a look. So here's kind of the chart we were looking at the other day. In my opinion, we are going to see two things play out for XRP. Or there's two main scenarios. Now, obviously, we do have this little range that we're creating right here with our local resistance coming up here at about 80 cents. That's going to be a level to watch. Also, if we deviate from this local range, the POC, previous POC, at 83 cents is going to be not only a key level of resistance, but also a key level to watch, because if we flip that 83-cent level, guys, it could open the door. And we're going to touch on this in a second, but it could open the door to much higher prices for XRP, potentially getting up there in that dollar realm and beyond. Now, more, price action based, I do think this is going to go two different ways. What I am looking for, a lot of people are looking, if we get a retracement, a lot of people are asking, where are you looking for a retracement for a potential dip buy for XRP? And the honest answer is, to accumulate XRP, this is where you were supposed to accumulate, right? But nobody really wants, a lot of people don't want to accumulate a coin that's in the lawsuit with the SEC. And, it's like, no one loves you when you're down. But then when you're up, everybody wants to know how they could be friends with you, right? And that's kind of a situation. It's kind of how I'm looking at XRP. Like no one cared or wanted XRP when it was down in the dumps. But now that it got this big rip, everybody and their grandma wants to know about XRP. And I will say this, 10-hour green dot confirmed. I will say this. I think if we do pull back, guys, the key levels to look at are if we break this range. If a pullback, I'm not considering a pull to the value area low, a pullback to 70 cents. 70 cents is a buy for me, to be honest. Now, I am mostly accumulated on my XRP. I'm pretty happy with my XRP bag. So I probably wouldn't buy the dip there. But if you get a move to this area, I would be looking for long setups down here at the bottom of the local range for a potential bigger move to the upside. However, if we break this range to the downside, the major level I would be looking to load up some more XRP or look for bullish signals to go long on XRP in a leverage trade would be this blue box between about 65 and 62 cents. Not only is this the value area low of our macro range, which we're going to look at in a second, but it's also the local golden pocket of this entire move to the upside. So here's the thing, though. I would love to get a move down here to load up some longs and get a bigger move up, or even get a move down to the 786, which would kind of be the second zone that I would look to buy the dip, because that is the scene of the crime, right? Like we talked about this when XRP popped. I was talking about if we cool off, look for a move down to the previous highs of this range, right? Because a lot of times price likes to revisit the scene of the crime, or simply put, let me hide my face really, really quickly here. Simply put, price a lot of times likes to come back down and revisit that area where it broke out from, which is the bottom of this blue box. So two major levels that I would look to buy the dip on XRP or potentially look for long positions would be between 65 and 62 cents. And then if we lose that level, I will be looking down to between about 56 and 53 cents. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if you're going to get lucky enough to get any of these pullbacks, right? Like with something like XRP, with the bullish sentiment that has happened, that it's gotten in the recent days, I don't know if you're going to get that pullback. So I do either think it's going to play out like this. You're either going to get that breakout, and like a lot of times, guys, like I could be pretty confident on, guys, this thing has to pull back, guys. It has to pull back before it gets a next big leg up, like on Bitcoin, because the higher daily time frames look like they want to cool off. But two reasons I don't feel like that on XRP. I do think we could potentially just moon out of here. Potentially. No guarantees. But I wouldn't be surprised if we just saw this thing kind of creep up and then yeet to the upside. And I'll explain why. Look at this 10-hour. Green dot confirmed. Fresh money flow crossover into the green. This is not subject to Bitcoin's money flow and higher daily time frames. This is kind of a beast of its own at this point. Green dot confirmed on the 10-day. Money flow fresh crossover into the green. 12-hour, looking for a green dot. Looking for a green dot on the 12-hour. Not too shabby. And we are also kind of pushing up right now. 16-hour, VWAP coming to the upside. This is looking pumpy to me. In my own humble opinion. Now, here's where it starts to flip around a little bit. Taking a look at the higher daily time frames, they do look slightly better. They look a little better than Bitcoin's. Like, look at the weekly on XRP. This is not like on Bitcoin, your VWAP is knocking on the door to the zero line. XRP looks like it has a little bit more room, right? Like, you're just starting to curve off here, but you have no bearish divergence. VWAP is not absolutely curving down. It's just looks like it's starting to roll over, but way better than Bitcoin, right? And then that 12 and that 10 hour look a little bit, or that 12 and that the 12 and the 16 hour, these look a little bit pumpy to me. And in my honest opinion, if I was looking at this, guys, this looks more to me like this might want to go up before it goes down. The opposite of Bitcoin, right? Because on Bitcoin, the 12 and the 16 hour don't really look that great, right? Because money flow's coming out, and like on the 10 hour, your money flow's crossing over into the red. Whereas on XRP, it looks like the party's just getting started here. And again, it doesn't mean that we're guaranteed to moonshot, but it's just very different than Bitcoin. Like, look at this 10 hour, fresh money flow crossover into the green dot confirmed. Now look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin on the 10 hour, like money flow just freshly crossed over into the red. And this could make sense if the Bitcoin dominance is going to pull back here and we're going to see the alts run a little bit, because that's just naturally how things work. Now, again, like I was just talking about with Gareth, I'm not calling for some massive altcoin rally. Like, to me, that happens in a bull market. Like, that's like, even when we saw the alts pump in January and February, like, that was alt season, but like not like a real altcoin season. Like, you just saw the alts pump. It wasn't like everything was making new all-time highs. So with that being said, it would make a lot of sense to see the Bitcoin dominance drop off here. Maybe Bitcoin corrects a little bit, which is what we've been looking for to happen on Bitcoin while we've been sitting in this range. Hopefully that happens so I don't go crazy. But it would make sense. Look at this. Money flow fresh crossover into the red. Fresh money flow starting to come out on the 12 hour. 16 hour starting to come out with your money flow. Your 8 hour money flow starting to cross over into the red. Now bring it back to XRP. Your 8 hour just crossed over into the green, and you're getting that 8 hour green dot, guys. This looks a little bit pumpy to me. So, and then look, 10 hour, fresh money flow crossover into the green. Fresh green dot confirmed. 8 hours printing a fresh green dot. So this does look to me like maybe it wants to put in a bigger move to the upside. And, for me, I would generally look for a potential bearish divergence here. I won't necessarily be doing that as aggressively as I do with other stuff on XRP, because if this thing moons, I feel like there's probably going to be a crazy amount of FOMO. Maybe we get some news comes out and like that pumps as well. So I wouldn't really be looking to short XRP right now. So I do think those are kind of like, if we do pull back here, I would look to buy here. I would look to buy here. I would also be looking for longs, shorter term trades at both of these levels. However, it is looking a little pumpy, so I would not be surprised if we just kind of whoop and just get that yeet to the upside, because when things go crazy, and like I let's zoom out, right? When XRP pumps, guys, let me look at XRP Bitstamp. When you look at XRP, guys, in the past, like when XRP pumps, it absolutely yeets to the upside, guys. Like, there's just no chill whatsoever. So, like, even here, right? Like, you pull up, small little pullback. Like, you never pulled back to the scene of the crime here, for the most part, right? Like, even if we come down to a lower time frame, maybe we can see something. But just going back in time here, guys, to like the real pumps that we've had on XRP. Come on. Where are we at? 2021. Like, that's not even really what I want to look at. What I'd really like to look at is 2018, right? Because that's the last time that this thing went absolutely berserk. Come on. All right, let's see. Like, even here, like, let me zoom out a bit. Yeah, like right here. Like, this is just absolute moonshot. Absolute, like right here, absolute moonshot. This is 2017. But like even here, like look at right here. You pull up, you kind of just bing bong back and forth. You never pulled back to that breakout zone. You just kind of bing, 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 and then it just creeps up and rips to the upside. Let's go to another breakout. Like even here, up, bing, bong, bing, bong, bing, bong, yeet to the upside. Never retested the scene of the crime. Now, not impossible to go retest that scene, but like oftentimes, like when XRP goes, guys. So I'm not really counting my, I'm not like even here, just like look at how this thing pumps, guys. Like this, it rips, right? It breaks out. Well, right here, you kind of came back. But like even here, breakout, small consolidation, whoop, right? Like all of these pumps, like breakout, small consolidation, rip, small consolidation, rip. This one, you did pull back a decent bit more. But like when XRP goes, guys, XRP absolutely goes. So I would not be like, this looks a lot really familiar to all these other times XRP. And like when you look at something like the daily, it's a little bit quicker. Like even here, like this was in 2021, which was very suppressed as far as price action goes for XRP. You pull up, like no real significant pullback, and then you get a second leg. Like even here, pullback, barely any consolidation, rip to the upside. Barely consolidation, rip to the upside. Like, yeah, I don't know. When XRP pumps, it pumps. So I wouldn't be like counting my, I wouldn't like even here, up, bing, bang, bing, bang, yeet. Yeet. Actually, this candle pulled back a lot. But like just for the most part, guys, like I would not be looking for this thing. I should say this. I wouldn't be surprised if we just yeet up here because again, like when XRP pumps, it pumps. So especially with all the bullish narrative, like, yeah, like even this looks, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be counting my I don't know, counting my eggs before they hatch. Like I wouldn't be betting the farm on this thing pulling back because as you guys can see from the past examples, XRP pumps when it pumps. So that's what I would look for. Again, if we get the breakdown, those are the levels I'm looking at. But here's the thing, guys. If XRP breaks out here, if we get a breakout, you guys know these levels are basically derived from the previous range in 2021, right? We have this previous value area from back in the day, and we've ripped below the value area low, held it as support, and we went right to the POC. And now we are just simply cooling off from that POC. If we break that point of control and we get a big move to the upside, guys, we are likely, if we can get above the point of control and hold it as support, we are likely going to see some kind of an eventual move up to the value area high at about $1.29. Between $1.28 and $1.29, $1.26 is another level a lot of people are looking at. But guys, if we get above that POC, it's going to be very likely that not an instant moonshot, but very likely we are going to get a move. We're going to start working our way up towards that value area high at $1.28. Now, obviously, we do have some kind of a gap here. There are some levels in between that could cause some turbulence. But for the most part, there's a pretty big gap in volume here. Your next highest volume node or biggest point of interest isn't until about $1.08 or $1.10. So I would expect, I wouldn't expect a straight shot. But, maybe you come up here, you flip the POC to support. You get a little clung up here about 94, 95 cents. I would expect a quick move up to about $1.03. And then I would expect a little resistance at $1.09 to $1.10. And if you can get above that, that's where you're likely to see that value area high at about $1.29. So that's what I would be looking at on XRP, guys. And I don't know if you're going to get that pullback. I would like it to come, but I don't know if it is going to happen. And if we do get it, I don't even know. I don't know if we're going back to that scene of the crime, as they say, because, if there's an asset that doesn't really like to revisit the scene of the crime, if there's any asset that's an actual good criminal, it's probably XRP because it doesn't go back to the scene of the crime. It runs away and never comes back. It just escapes the country, right, to a different jurisdiction. So there you go, guys. There's the XRP sauce for you. I know everybody was looking for that. Shout out to Zamixel Crypto. Shout out to you, man. Says, Frankie, what is your thoughts on sand? Can it hit its all-time high and beyond? I don't know if we're going to have time to look at sand, but I will say this. We'll try to look at sand tomorrow if any of the mods could. If Rob, if you could remember that, I will take a look at sand soon or tomorrow on tomorrow's stream, hopefully. But I will say I am bullish on sand. I think metaverse, gaming, crypto will be a big narrative in the next bull run, as it was kind of crept in at the end. Yes, thank you, Rob. I appreciate you. And Tony says, sand, you say? It's actually interesting that you mentioned that because I don't want to leak any information here, but I was asked if I was bullish on sand for a particular reason today. And they told me, said, pick a coin that you're, bullish on in the next bull market. And I said sand, because I do think metaverse gaming will be a very big narrative going in. Obviously, it was pretty big in the previous bull run, but I think it's only going to come back with more gusto in the next bull run. So I will say, yes, I would think that sand will be likely to break its all-time high. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed, but I am bullish on sand for sure. But yeah, guys, I'm not going to lie. This look at XRP looks like it's like, It's like behind a cage, and it's like growling and like biting at the cage, and it's like starting to bend the bars, right? It's like starting to pull those bars apart, starting to work. And like, yeah, SEC is like, come on, man, calm down, stay in there, guys. We need backup. And XRP is just like chomping at the bit, which I think I say that wrong. I don't think it's chomping at the bit. I think it's I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. XRP is looking like it's. Come on, let me go. I really wanted to pull back, though, guys. I really wanted to pull back, but I don't know if we're going to get it. So, yeah, that's kind of the scenario. Maybe we get a pullback, break down out of the range, but other than that, I would look for a moonshot for XRP because it's looking antsy. All right, let's go ahead and move on here. Jumping at the crib. Yeah, shout out to Brad Guidell. But let's go ahead and take a look at Sol, or as some people call it, Solano, or I don't know. What does James Cramer say? Solonzo, or is that Cardanzo? Anyway, guys, but yeah, we could see here, and I will say, like, this is kind of what I would expect. Like, this is kind of like if we're not going to get the cool off for XRP, I would kind of expect something like this, where like you kind of just bing-bonged around a little bit, and then price just creeps up, and then boop. So that's kind of what I would expect. But anyway, coming back to our current price action on Solana, guys, I am almost at break even on my Solana long-term bag here. But actually, we're looking at Solana on Sin City Crypto, guys. And actually, let me see if I can pull up that chart, because I already have the TA done there. And here it is. So, oh no, this isn't it. I guess we could probably just start fresh here. But what I would be looking for here, guys, is going to be yeah, right about here. Look at that golden pocket test with that wick. Sometimes the wick just goes, come on, let me touch the golden pocket. Boop. It just boops it right on the nose. But what I would be looking for on Solana here, guys, 2-day red dot printing. I wouldn't be surprised if you cool off a little bit. Now, I do think Solana will run in the bull market. I know a lot of people think it's dead. It's kind of what we were talking about on Sin City. But I do think Solana will run in the next bull market. I don't think it's dead. And it's got good tech. It's got good partnerships. I do think it will continue to run. Will it break its next all-time high? The one thing, I think so, right? Like, they have the whole NFT thing going on. Again, they have good tech. And, yeah, they call it the VC coin, right? And to me, that's not really a bad thing, because it will help it pump in the bull market, right? Now, granted, it's not, the most crypto-centric thing, but I do think it will help it run in the bull market, and I would look for a potential run here on Solana in the next bull market. But anyway, regardless of that, guys, let's take a look at the local price action here. I'm going to go ahead and pull a range. We're going to pull it from here to our current price action. And you can see here that we are getting a test of that value area high as support. And this is kind of the make or break moment here, right, for Solana. Because if we can hold support on that value area high, this could wind up giving us another move up to attack that golden pocket and potentially the 786, coming in at about $39 to $40. And I do think that it is possible to get up there. However, this 2-day red dot is likely going to cool you off in the meantime, right? So in the shorter term, I would look for a potential pullback. And if you can get back within this value area, I would look for a move back down towards that POC/local golden pocket retracement level at about $20, between like $21 and $20 even. I would even extend this box to the POC because to the value area low, because as you guys know, once you get below that value area high, chances are you're going to go to the POC and likely even the value area low. So this whole area would be an area that I would be looking to potentially buy in a little bit more to Solana or look for long positions. Now, your 786 is coming in at 1819. Or let me get that, 1824. So if you do come back down, I would look to get stuck below that value area high. If you do, next stop is likely going to be this blue box where I would look for an eventual bounce. Just be careful of that wick down to the 786. So something like that wouldn't be impossible with some kind of a wick down to that 786, and then just basically it's a golden pocket retracement, and then you just come back up, and that's where you put in your higher low. You have your low, your high, your higher low, your higher high. Kind of a higher low there. Higher high, or your real next higher high is low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. I wouldn't really count all these as higher. They technically are, but on something like the 2-day, you could barely see it. If you come down to a lower time frame, you could see it a little better, right? Clearly an uptrend, right? Just continually putting in higher highs and higher lows. I would just look at in the macro, if you do come all the way down to that local golden pocket retracement, you would technically be putting in, a more macro higher low to continue to the upside. So that's kind of the logic behind the thinking on that. Let me bring back my my face. I forgot I was hiding my face there. But there you go, guys. That's what I'd be looking at on Solana. And no, I do not think it's dead. But again, like in the short term, 4-hour green dot's probably close to printing. Look, yeah, printing a green dot on the 4-hour, looking very, very similar to Bitcoin in the short term. And then, daily red dot confirmed, 2-day red dot printing. So in the longer, same sentiment as Bitcoin. If we do get a pump, I would look for it to be a potential lackluster pump for a move back to the downside to revisit that blue box down here. All right, let's go ahead and move on here. Solana and Casper, not to be confused with Caspa. Let's go ahead and take a look at Casper. Let's see. Tether KuCoin, here we go. Go ahead and clear our drawings here. Caspa coming in at 3 cents. Let's pull our range. I'm going to pull this whole macro range here. Yeah, so here, these are the levels I would take, guys. Simply put, I'm gonna kind of fly through Casper because we are running out of time. Value area high coming in here at 4 cents. If it doesn't want to draw for me, come on. There we go. At about 0.04492 cents, you have your value area high. Your POC is coming in at about 0.03680 cents, and then your value area low coming in here at 0.03309. So, with that being said, your 2-day red dot is also printing here. So it looks kind of similar to everything else. 2-day red dot printing. Your daily red dot is confirmed. Oof. It's hard to say because this range is respected. Low, high, POC, low, back to the high, back test, the POC, back to the high, and then you deviate from your range, right? You bing bong around up here. Probably put in a divergence right here is my guess. There it is. Daily bearish divergence, absolute dump. And then what happened? You got back below your value area high, bearishly retested it. Creighton C, let me know what happens when you backtest, you bearishly retest that value area high. And I know he's coming in here with that right answer as always. Oh, I felt it too. Then Gensler happened. Oh, shout out to Creighton C. Shout out to Zemexo Crypto said POC, and Creighton C right up behind him with the POC. Let's go. So yeah, once you bearishly retest that value area high, boom, you get the move down towards that POC. Here we are right now. Are you guys catching on to this whole value area trading thing? You lose the value area high, you bearishly retest it, you get a move to your POC. That's where we sit right now. You guys can see, moving down to a lower time frame, we are now losing the point of control. Let me zoom out a bit. Come on. There we go. And you can see here we are now flirting with losing that POC now. Now, there's no guarantees that we're decisively lost this just yet, because if you come up to the 4-hour, you can see, like, we're kind of, like, we don't really have, you do have some 4-hour candle closes down here. Yeah, if you don't regain this POC, guys, you may start your journey to the value area low, again, coming in at 0.03309 cents. But this 4-hour green dot could potentially, with the bullish divergence on top of it, higher lows on your momentum waves, lower lows on price, this could give you a pop back above the POC. So right now, for Casper, you're really looking at this, trying to get back above the POC and hold it as support. If you can't do that, I would look lower, potentially coming down to, potentially coming down to, right here, the value area low, 0.03309 cents. And there you go. There's the sauce on Casper. And Casper, not to be confused with Caspa. Yay, Casper. Shout out to the dude. Shout out to you, man. And then real quick, guys, just taking a look at Caspa. I did say I would try to take a look at this. And then just really quickly here, taking a look at Caspa. 4-hour green dot, freshly printing here. Yeah, this thing is looking for another run potentially. Yeah, looking for the Nabil coming in with the value area low. Let's go. But yeah, I would look for this thing to potentially push up a bit more off this fresh green dot. Bearish hammer candle forming here. However, this is a fresh green dot, so you could wind up pushing up a little higher. Yeah, you can see that 4-hour candle is just already starting to push. Taking a look at the 2-hour. Ooh, 2-hour looking for the red dot. 1 hour looking for the red dot with a bearish divergence, guys. Look at this. This is a little conflicting. You do have your higher highs on price with your lower highs on your momentum waves. On top of money flow also coming to the downside, this would be more bearish in my opinion, and could potentially wind up bringing you back down to your value area low, which is right now coming in at 0.03166 cents. I'll go ahead and mark out these levels so you guys can go ahead and take a look. You are starting to lose that value area high. And when you deviate from your range here, guys, that is, when you get those bearish divergence at the deviation of the range, once you print this bearish divergence on the 1 hour and you get below this value area low, this could potentially bring you back down to the POC and eventually the value area low. However, this 4-hour green dot has other plans. This 4-hour green dot, guys. This is interesting. What I would do here is, again, that 1 hour bear div is not printing yet. So I would be careful of catching a little bit of support on this value area high. As of right now, I would lean a little bearish, but this is very hard to explain. I would lean bearish on Caspa with the caveat that we could get a bounce. So I am bearish. I would be looking for scalp shorts on Caspa. However, I'd be cautious of a bounce off this value area high to put in another high, which then would still potentially, your momentum wave might come up a little bit more, but you would still have your bearish divergence on the 1 hour, right? But what that would do is it would also give you potentially time to form a new high on the 4 hour, right? So maybe price pumps up and you put in a new high here on the 4 hour, and that gives you a potential bearish divergence. You basically have an opportunity to create a bearish divergence on the 4 hour now. So I might lean on waiting for this 4-hour green dot to play out in case it pushes up again and then puts in a 4-hour bear div, and then that's where I would look for the short. And again, it's not like you're printing the 1 hour bear div anyway, so I would just be careful front running this divergence, because again, if that 4 hour pushes you up, you're likely to get your momentum wave to kind of catch a little support here, and you may push up again. But again, you would just wait for the confirmation of the divergence, and instead of it popping up here, it may pop up here. But you would still generally have that same confirmation. But it would be a higher probability trade because you'd have the 4-hour bearish divergence, and honestly, at that, just a 4-hour red dot on your side for that short would help you out. So that's what I would be looking at on Caspa. And there you guys go. POC. Shout out to Dave Digital. Let's go. But let's see. All right, let's go ahead and move on here, guys. Oh, God, I don't know what you guys are talking about in chat here, but yeah. Members, refresh. Oh, let's go. Oh, my God, we got a POC emoji now. Let's go. Shout out to whoever did that. Shout out to Rob says, members, refresh your page to claim the use of the POC emoji. Let's go. We should get value area low, value area high, and POC. But value area low, actually, no, those would have to be white because it's got to match the chart, right? POC is pink, value area high is white, value area low is white. But then you could just type in VAL in white and it would be the same thing. Dave Digital, shout out to Dave Digital, guys. Show Dave Digital some love with the POC in chat. Dave Digital, I think, has made a bunch of the emojis. Dave, I love you, bro. You're out here, bro. And speaking of you, man, I was looking at I was just checking out the Bing Bong Cannon before, and I'm just like, man, this. Look at the logos, just straight. Shout out to Dave Digital, and Crypto Pollo, I think, is the other one that had something to do with this. But shout out to you guys, man. This is super cool. We might as well load it up. Nothing's really pumping as of right now, aggressively. But hey, shout out to the CandleMafia. Shout out to the POC emoji. Bing bong. Let's go, baby. Oh God. I think I need to replace the batteries, guys. But hey, bing bong, let's go, baby. Woo! Pew, pew. Let's go. Okay, almost shot myself in the face there. But yeah, guys, shout out to the Candle Mafia, guys. With all that being said, I think that's all the time we got for the TA, at least tonight. So we're going to go ahead and pull up that wheel of pain and pleasure. I appreciate everybody for sticking around till the end of the stream, and thank you for sticking around for those technical difficulties with Gareth. But he still spit the sauce, guys. He still spit that dang sauce. I'm actually going to pull up XRP here because, whoo-hoo, baby, this thing, oh, baby. Oh God, man, this thing is like, sometimes I get sussed out by stuff, guys. Oh God, I'm sussed out by that cough, to be honest. But guys, I am suspicious of XRP here. Like, I feel like XRP, it's like I was saying, it looks like it's like chomping at the bit or like behind the bars in jail, and it's like, come on, let me go. And it's starting to get through the bars, like the chains are starting to break one by one. But I'm also getting like it's looking both ways, and it's trying to like creep out for another pump, and it's like, no one's looking. I think the hype's over. Not everybody's paying attention to us. The influencers stopped making videos about us. I think we can run again, and then like it's about to just break out of this range. So again, it's really hard to say what's going to come next, guys, but I will say XRP, if it does pull back, those are the major areas. And the reason I bring this up again is because I know this is like a hot topic right now, and a lot of people are curious. If we break this range to the downside, I would be looking at these two ranges to accumulate a little bit more and potentially look for longs, but I just don't know. With the way XRP behaves when it pumps like this, it basically moves, bing, bong, bing, bong, bing, bong, and just textbook, like time and time again, will just yeet right back to the upside with barely cooling off. So this might have been that dip. This might have been that dip. So I wouldn't be surprised if we run here, but if we do, now you guys have the good levels to look at for a buy. But here we go, guys. Let's go ahead and spin that wheel of pain and pleasure. Crypto Pollo said, I'm working on a new prop for the show. It will be coming soon. Shout out to Crypto Pollo. Got to hang out with Crypto. Like now I feel like I know Crypto Pollo personally because we got to hang out at Bitcoin Miami. Super cool dude, man. Shout out to Crypto Pollo, bro. Hopefully we get to hang out again. But I'm looking forward to it, bro. I appreciate you doing that. And yeah, I'm excited to see what you come up with here. Just make sure it's not a doll of any kind because Mrs. Candles gets jealous. Did I just out myself? Anyway, guys, here we go. Spin number one. Let's go. How many likes? We got 613. The like goal was 850 for 15 spins, but that's okay, guys. We just need, if XRP pumps tonight, then we should be able to get 850 tomorrow. But yeah, shout out to the 607 people in here, guys. Smash that like button if you have not already. I just got in on some XRP. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. But yeah, let's spin number two. Let's go. Bing bong. 615 likes. Let's go, guys. Shout out to you guys. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, 10 extra spins that we promised yesterday. Okay. Honestly, guys, I don't even question Rob. Like if you guys ever wanted to like bribe Rob to like trick me into giving away free stuff, like I just trust Rob. I trust him because I think he's trustworthy. He would never lie to me. But yeah, like he just said 10 extra spins. Like I don't even remember saying that. But I just trust him. I'm sure he's telling the truth. All right, let's see. Spin number three. Here we go. I'll be in Georgia next month. No worries. I'll visit you. Let's go. Shout out to Crypto Pollo. Bro, I'm looking forward to it. Let's go. You get to see, we'll see you on home turf this time. You get to see the in-office studio. You get to see the Hit Factory. It's super cool out there. Shout out to CJ Baker said, can I get a membership for my birthday or a bag of something? Or my first NFT. Well, shout out to CJ Baker. The membership gifts are random. So we can't like pick somebody to gift them a membership. At least I don't think so. I'm going to click on your name and see if I can. Yeah, you can't just gift somebody. I would also open up the floodgates to like, now I need one. And we can't, like, it would just open up the floodgates. But if you go into your YouTube settings and turn on gifting, you might not have it on. Everyone gifts so many memberships here that you're likely going to wind up with one if you're in stream often. But I can't gift it to you directly, unfortunately. But we are giving away, we do have a lot of giveaways this week, and the 50K giveaway is likely going to add a lot more to that. So if you're in on these giveaways this week, I do think it's probably likely that you will wind up winning something. But shout out to CJ Baker. Is it your birthday? Is today your birthday? Let me know. Can you look at Tomo? It's bad a rip on the 4-hour. CJ Baker on Discord. Yeah, dude, there's no way to directly gift something, unfortunately. But again, even if we could, it's just we're just in a position where we can't do it because then we'd have to give it to everybody. But like I said, if you like and comment on the videos, you're likely to get one of these things at some point. And make sure 33 today. Let's go. Happy birthday to CJ. Bing bong. I'm going to throw $3,300. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's another 10. Shout out to CJ Baker. Bing bong. Happy birthday, bro. Happy 33rd birthday. I'm 31, I think. I lost track after 30. Shout out to you, bro. Happy birthday. Bing bong. Throwing it for him. Oh, God, that came down heavy. That came down heavy, guys. Oh, Mrs. Candles is going to hate me. Sorry, Mrs. Candles. I'll clean this one. But let's go ahead and get those spins in here. We do have a decent bit of them here. All right, let's see. We got 16 spins to do. Let's see. All right, here we go. Spin number 10. Yeah, shout out to CJ Baker. Yeah, interesting. You have been here for a really long time. Do you enter all the giveaways? Let me know. Because I feel like almost everybody has won something at some point. But yeah, let me know. You have been here forever though. Shout out to CJ. I tried to. Yeah, shout out to CJ. Let's go. But yeah, with the YouTube memberships, I will say this. Especially with Hannah, when things pump and stuff, Hannah and Kenton Smith and Crypto and Yogurt and Woof Woof, they gave away an insane amount of CJ, check your settings. Check your settings and let me know if you have gifting on. If you have gifting on, Tony D, check the keep an eye on chat and wait for CJ to let you know if his gifting is on. And if it's on, drop like 20 memberships on these people. Let's see if we can get them. Oh, I don't know what that does. I don't know what that does really. What's YouTube membership? YouTube memberships basically give you YouTube memberships give you access to the custom emojis. If you guys can share some of those custom emojis so we can see them, you get custom emojis. There's some perks. If you go to the YouTube channel, there's like a breakdown of what each tier gives you. It's pretty cheap. I think it's like $2 a month is the cheaper one. And then I think the more expensive one is $5 a month. You get different stuff for each one. Bro, we have over 50K subs and thousands. Wait, hang on. And thousands of regular viewers. Definitely not everyone has won by this point. Well, yeah, I just feel like through the bear market, the people who comment on the videos are really the OGs and like the people who actually care. And I feel like at some point, if you've commented on a video, you've won something. If you've commented on every video, I feel like there's a good chance you've won something. But more the memberships. I feel like if you hang out I feel like if you hang out in a live stream every single day, after a week, there's like a great chance that you get the memberships when they're given away often. But yeah. All right, let's continue on here. It's got a lot of spins today. Let's see. No way. If XRP's ripping, I'm buying a crystal ball prop. Told you it looks a little bit pumpy. Now, we are coming up on some resistance, but yeah, I would really prefer a correction, to be honest with you guys. But like I said, does look a little bit bumpy. All right, let's continue on with these. How many are we up to? I might have overspun here. 17. We got 2 more spins, I think. 10 from... Okay, so we got 18 spins. So this is the last spin. Let's go. Wick, you've never won a giveaway? Why do I feel like... Shout out to Ron. I appreciate you, bro. Says, Frankie, keep crushing it. Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, either way, drop the memberships. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't realize he wasn't talking about a YouTube membership. We can't just randomly give people premium Discord memberships unless it's part of a fair giveaway. Unfortunately, CJ, like if I gave you a premium membership, then like, Parker might be like, hey, what about me? And then Ziva Crypto Girl would be like, hey, what about me? But actually, Ziva Crypto Girl's already in there. I just saw her comment. But yeah, learned so much in the past month. Shout out to Ziva Crypto Girl. But then Andrew's going to be like, hey, let me get one. And it just opens up the floodgates. But for the memberships, we're able to gift like 10 to 20 at a time, and it randomly selects people. So it's a little easier for us to do. Why am I still spinning the wheel, guys? Unbelievable. I shouldn't have done that. All right, so we got 20 spins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 giveaways, baby. Add it to the list, Rob. Let's go. It's going to be a big one. Love from the Lifers, Frankie. Congrats on 50K. Shout out to Lifer Adam. I appreciate you, bro. Love from the Candle Mafia. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you for being in here, Lifer. Or I should say Lifer Adam, because then it sounds like Lifers in here. But shout out to Lifer Adam. I appreciate you, bro. And we love you guys right back, for sure. Let's see. Shout out Crypto Lifer. Frankie Candles. Thanks for all these live streams. They really inspire me to stay in crypto. Shout out to the NL Koala Gamer. Shout out to you, bro. That means a lot. And Frankie Candles up in here dropping some memberships. Let's go. Dropping 20 memberships on the people. Let's go. Shout out to Vexinar, Matt Tucker. Let's go. Shout out to Jay, John Zemixel. We got, where are we? I'm trying to read the people. Tim Shea, let's go. Welcome in, bro. Devin C. Zoe. Shout out to you. Vexinar, shout out to you. Let's go. We got Dougie in the house getting a membership. Crypto Viking getting a membership. Brian Varney, let's go. Cowboy D. Oh, God, we really dropped the memberships on him. Let's go. Andrew, Grayman, Dan, shout out to you guys. Welcome to the family. Yeah, shout out to Tanner A. Said, Frankie Candles gives knowledge to us every single day. And I would have to go ahead and agree with you. But, hey, I don't want to pretend like it's something that I, this is not a job to me, guys. I do this because I love it. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is my job. But I do it because I love it. And I appreciate that you guys appreciate it more than you could possibly imagine. But with all that being said, guys, unfortunately, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. But luckily, there's a bullish divergence on us live streaming tomorrow at the same place, the same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, like we do every single weekday, right after ATB. Shout out to my boy DZ. I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much. I won't ask for free premium membership. I am already in premium. Let me flex a bit. Shout out to Nabil. But guys, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that Gareth Soloway sauce. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. I don't know what the heck happened. But with all that being said, guys, we'll see you here tomorrow. Same place, same time. 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB. Shout out to my boy DZ. I'll see you guys tomorrow. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong. Well, guys, shout out to Crypto Pollo, who's up 328% on his XRP long. Crypto Pollo still holding on to it. I don't know when you got into that long. I don't know if you've been sitting in it for a couple days or you just got into it. But I do just want to say here, guys, XRP is still looking a little bit like it wants to go here. However, here's the thing, guys. Again, I am hoping for a pullback. I do just want to pull this up really quickly because we were just looking at Caspa. And I do just want to spit the sauce here, guys. Looking for that bounce off the value area high. We are indeed starting to get that. So just take that for what it is, guys. Sometimes you got to wait for the move and then enter your short, right? A lot of people would probably try to front run that 1 hour bearish divergence. But again, look at your VWAP getting a little bit of support on that 0 line right here. So again, I would not front run this divergence, but I will be looking at this for a potential short position if we do get that move up off of this 4 hour green dot. And as of right now, that green dot did confirm, and it did give us a little push up. Now it might want to cool off just a little bit, guys. But with all that being said, that's all the time I really got for today. This was like a weird Frankie Candles fake out. We did a little bit of extra TA, a little bit of sauce to go, a little bit of it's like a little sauce packet to go. Throw them in the bag, drive away with them. Thank you for coming to the Frankie Candles drive-thru. That's all the time we got for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time. You know the rest. I'll see y'all later. That's all I got. Frank Candles out. Bing bong.